Today I am joining thousands of people in Budapest in Hungary who are defying Viktor Orbán's desperate attempt to ban the Pride March.
Free, free! Free, free! Alright, but have you heard this one though? Death, death to the IDF! 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 Death, death to the IDF!
So, Tom, just fill us in on the reaction in the UK, because I think the government have come out very upset about this. The BBC are in all sorts of trouble.
Martyrdom is a hugely important concept here in the Islamic Republic of Iran. We're currently at an event where hundreds of women hold their babies into the air to show that they're willing to offer their children as martyrs for God and for Imam Hussein. All of that goes back to the legendary Battle of Karbala, where Imam Hussein held his baby into the air, asking the enemy that was besieging Karbala to give the baby water, and instead the enemy killed the baby.
Resistance Chicks. I'm one of your hosts, Michelle. Leah is standing just to my left. She will be joining us on screen momentarily. It's Sunday, which means we're going to bring you this week's world news. Man, I'm going to tell you that intro, if you saw that death to the IDF chant, that was really disturbing for me. I'm not going to lie. When Leah sent me the video, I wasn't sure what to expect. I had actually seen the headline a couple of days ago, but I did not watch the video. And what I found most disturbing about it was the fact that, you know, you got this UK singer. He's got this really cool British accent.
Is he a UK singer?
Or whatever. He's British of some sort.
Is he British? I couldn't tell.
I don't know what kind of accent he is. He's like,
Bob Vylan.
I don't know. We're going to find out. But my point is that he starts off with the Free Free Palestine, which is the same thing that we hear all the time. We know how that chant goes. But then when he starts doing the death to the IDF, it hits. Like, and this is where Leah and I have talked about on our show. You have to watch because music gets into your soul.
It's very catchy.
It's so catchy. And so all of a sudden, the crowd is feeling it.
Yeah.
They don't even care what they're saying because they're in the moment and they're feeling it. And I can all but guarantee you.
He is. Bob Vylan are an English punk duo based in London.
I can all but guarantee you that after the fact, there were people who chanted it without even thinking about what they were chanting and then regretted it and they were like, oh, like, why did I take a part in that? You know, I mean, at least I would hope that there would at least be some people that had participated in that, because it's really difficult. That's why they do chants. You know, I don't know about the origins. I'm not this person that does like Latin and origins of words, but I think of enchantment. You know what I mean? Like there's an enchantment there of chanting. And, you know, like historically speaking, they would, when you look at shamanism and Satanism and voodoo and like all of these demonic spiritualists, they have chants. They have chants. They have chants. They have chants.
Yes, they do.
You don't see that in Christianity or in any kind of biblical sense whatsoever that I know of. The best that you're going to get is the children of Israel marching around Jericho and playing the music and stuff like that. But like, you're not going to get these chants. And so I just found it very demonic to get up there and to chant, and you've got this cool accent and so we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about that. The other thing that we're going to talk about is I wish I could be Hungarian. Like, I want to be Hungarian. I want Viktor Orbán to be my friend. I'd like to hang out. I'd love to take him to dinner. I'd love to make him dinner. I would love to know this man and have him be my friend. Now, of course, we can't attribute every good thing that happens in Hungary to Viktor Orbán, just any more than we can attribute good things that happen in the United States to Donald Trump. We know that's true. However, he did play a role in this, and Hungary has banned the LGBT Pride Parade. And I think that this is such a giant step for the world. I don't know how this ended up in my feed. I watched a video, I think it was like last night, just like 2 seconds of the first clip was the Olsen twins, and then it was their sister who did the Avengers. And both of them said this, that one of the things that their dad told them that served them very well growing up was that no is a full sentence. Meaning you don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to back it up by anything. No means no kind of thing. And I really like that, actually, even though it was coming from the Olsen sisters. However, I want to apply that to Hungary because when it comes to the LGBT nonsense, it is okay for an entire country to say no. Nope. No. And Leah and I were talking about this on a dog walk today, and we'll get into this as we get in dig deeper into this story. It's not that they're banning a people group. They're banning perversion, and that should be allowed to be banned, and it should be demanded to be banned, by the way. And then we have, again, in insanity world, like, I want to just one day be able to bring you guys like the greatest news that's happening around the world. Maybe we'll do that at some point. I think we've done shows kind of like that in the past, but it's hard. You got to dig for them. But today we have insanity world. Leah's got this video of like right now. These women in Iran are so brainwashed. And I can say that, by the way. I can, because that's what this is. They're so brainwashed that they have dressed up their babies and they're holding them up. And we're going to play this video for you. They're holding them up and promising for them to be martyrs. Now, here's the thing that got me when I was watching this. I was thinking about Christian baby dedications.
Oh my.
Okay, so you take your baby and you promise to raise them in the things of the Lord, right? Yeah. So you're dedicating your child to God. Now, OT, Old Testament. Who else did this?
The people. Oh, yeah,
Hannah. Okay, but here's the difference, Pumpkin. Hannah believed God for a child. Okay, she's given the child. God grants the child through Samuel. Then, through the prophecy of Samuel, by the way. And then she decides, you know what, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to devote this child to the service of the Lord. So when he's like 5 or 6, I don't know, whatever, she takes him and he's devoted to be like, to like the priesthood, whatever.
Yeah, he is.
Okay. It's actually a really cool story. And then she's got a little coat that she takes him every year and it's really fun. That's not the same thing as dedicating your child to die. Okay. And so this is where the devil takes the things of the Lord and twists them in such a way that you go, wait, what? I mean, so wait till you guys see this video. It's so crazy. But I did want to start off with a little bit of updates while Leah's pulling up her tabs and our stories for today, which are, looks like we're going to have a great show. She's got a lot of tabs up. Right here at God's Little Acre. I don't know what's happened. I don't know even what's going on. I don't know, when I get out of bed, I'm not sure if the floor is where I should put my feet or the ceiling. Like, I don't know what's happening in our life right now. It's so chaotic. For those of you that don't know, we own a pet care business. And business is going well. Let's put it that way. We have 5 dogs from 3 different families here right now.
Don't normally do
we
that.
don't normally have 3 different families of dogs here. 2 max. We try to just do like 1 if we can. 2, 3 is pushing it. 4 is just crazy land, which we have had actually.
You mean the amount of dogs?
No, what I
Families?
mean is the families, different families, dogs from different families. Well, sometimes we'll have 4 dogs here, you know, from two different families. That's not that
overnight.
You know, huge. Yes, we do. Yeah, like Gatlin and Archie and Lulu and Toby. That's not that big of a deal.
No, but not 4 different families overnight.
No, I know.
Okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. Not overnight. No. So what I'm
More
trying
dogs,
to get at
the more
is
watch
everybody knows
everything.
this about if you haven't picked up on this, because you guys pick up on weird stuff on our show, it kind of creeps me out sometimes. Like we'll just say one offhanded thing and then you've all of a sudden built like a construct of our life that's accurate, and it scares me. However, if you haven't picked up on this yet, if I could have it my way, we would be on time every week. That is not going to happen for the foreseeable future. So just take the times that we tell you that our shows are supposed to be, add 20, 30, or an hour to that, okay? Because what's ever happening, so I appreciate you. I wanted to start out with something positive. Those of you that actually find your way to our live show and wait with the patience, I love you to the moon and back again, okay? So we're also doing things around the homestead. We've got a giant pile of mulch that you and Patriot Gallery and I moved yesterday. We're putting mulch down. Leah today did like an hour-long video that was great. I haven't seen it yet, on cordage. Do you want to just tell them about that?
On a plant.
A specific plant. She made me eat this. Fuzzy leaf. It's called fuzzy leaf.
Velvet
I was so
leaf.
close.
That's
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
velvet
was
leaf.
really close.
So,
that's amazing.
Michelle, maybe you can bring up a picture of what this looks like before we start harvesting.
Oh, before it got a little wilty.
So, Patriot Gallery, our madre, she, this plant was growing with these flowers and these giant leaves and these little seed pods. And she goes, I want you to see, would you use your little plant
It's one
identifier
word. It's weird.
and see if these plants are edible in any way? It's a couple of days ago. And I was pulling and I was weeding. You can watch this whole video on Facebook. And I want to come it up. It needs to be like 10 times. Make it fast. So I pulled those and found out they were edible. And I found out not only were they edible, but you could make cordage from them, which I have never done. And as you see, I learned a lot myself live on video. And so the first thing I
for them to be able
learned,
to see it though. So I can't really show them the picture and have you show them
That's
their
fine.
little seeds.
they just sell the plant.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing I learned is that this little thing is a seed pod, and they unripened seeds are edible. Like I would never think in a million years
Eat that.
eat the unripened seeds of anything, but maybe it's they taste like have pine nuts. So I'm thinking that like roasting them would be amazing.
There you go.
So I was so excited because I love finding wild edible things. Light is not working on that for me. They look like little tiny teeth.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a weird way
So-
of saying it. As Leah eats the teeth-looking seeds.
They're very kind of a nutty flavor. I liked them. So the leaf is also edible, and I'm not a big fan of bitter things. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a very big leaf. I tasted the leaf, and it's not bitter. So I'm going to make a salad, and we're going to rinse them. However, what I did notice was that they are a little fuzzy.
I don't want to eat
Now-
fuzzy stuff.
You know what is they're also used for?
No, they're not.
Can you
You
guess?
just made that up.
Can you guess what they're? No, I'm not a fan. Can you guess what else they're used for? Just guess.
Oh, I got it. I know what it is. I know what it is.
I know
you
you
said
know.
it's fuzzy. TP.
Yeah,
Toilet paper.
yeah. It's known as the toilet paper plant.
It's toilet paper plant.
Yeah.
Fuzzy leaf. And that's good. That's a nice old big old piece
You're
of
not
TP. You got some
gonna-
holes in there though.
You could maybe make two.
Fold it over.
This would, because God has provided. Now, the cordage. Michelle, I don't know if you can show them the stock. I didn't bring
Sure.
down. Okay, I did bring down a stock. So, you can watch me for 35 minutes struggling as somebody who's learning. I'm not going to say an idiot. Because
Somebody who's learning, that's a way better way of saying it.
struggling to learn how to do this now to make the cordage. So on the videos, they said you want to take off these little branches. Oh, we're going already. And then you're going to start peeling. So I'm going to show you where the cord, this is kind of the top of it. I've already done the bottom parts that look a little bit more like this. Now, what I accidentally thought of was that the inside here, this stalk here. I went up, I got my
You watched the
knife.
wrong video. I want to say it's not your fault because
Yeah.
you said that the video that you watched had a guy using a knife.
Yeah.
The second video that you watched that you actually showed me, I mean, it was brilliant. It's super easy. You don't
Right.
need a knife.
So this is actually all coming off as one. And
As it should.
You'll see something here that it's really, really cool. And Michelle, I think you can see this up close. The skin is separating. You can see it's distinct from the cordage. And this is so cool. So you should be able to.
No, that whole thing is cordage.
Yeah, but I kind of left some behind. Leave no man. See what happened right there at the.
Yeah. You can just leave it.
Well,
You don't have to break it off.
no, that's fine because this is done. This is the skin. Right?
No, you use this.
No, that's the skin.
Leah, no, this is the cordage. Please, you're not. Listen, this is super tight. This is cordage. The whole thing that is in your hand is the cordage.
So I don't know which way you got that from. Let's see.
You don't need to peel it. You don't need to peel anything off of that. That whole thing is cordage.
Michelle, this is the skin. This just all came off as one.
Right.
So this is the skin. So you actually, Michelle, I've spent.
Yeah, but you told me that you got the video wrong earlier.
because I used
so
the
now
stock.
I don't trust you.
So now I use the stock.
I know, but I don't trust you.
So this is a small part of it. So you can see, as I just showed you, there's a difference between the skin and the.
I think we shouldn't teach people stuff if we aren't sure.
I am sure because I spent a long time on this.
I don't trust it.
Let me get another piece here.
Literally don't trust it.
So I'll show you. So right here, this is a piece of the whole skin.
Somebody in the chat that knows cordage needs to tell.
So I need you to be a little more supportive.
I'm super supportive
Okay, so and I
of
need
this.
you not because here's the thing.
Okay.
This right here
Yeah.
is the cordage.
Yeah.
That's the skin that's left behind, but there are still a little few fibers back there. So right
Okay.
here, this is coming off.
Okay.
This is the cordage. Okay.
Okay.
So you're gonna leave behind.
Yeah.
You're leaving behind the skin, and you're peeling off.
This is a lot of work.
Yeah, I wondered about this. Honestly, for a lot of these like ship rope builder thingies, it was easier when it was fresher.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I peeled a ton of cordage from
Okay.
these things, and then this is a good piece here. I started to. This still has some skin on it, and the cord. They actually have little fibers, and you can see them. They're so cool because they're like little strings.
Okay.
So once I've pulled them, I don't know if I got one. You can start to braid them, and you can make what we call. There's a scripture in the Bible. 1 can put 1,000 to flight. 2 can put 10,000 to flight. But a 3-cord strand is not easily broken. So the reason why they use it for cordage and rope is because if you go like this, you see how strong that is? Other plants, Michelle, what would happen if you tried to do this like a regular weed?
You just break.
Right? So a 3-cord strand, I did this earlier and I'm making, and really you kind of want to roll these pieces, and you can actually do these once they're dry as well.
Okay.
But I'm making rope. Okay? I'm a 3-cord strand. And that is even stronger than just one. And you've seen it where people have done fiber
Yeah.
people, and they will do like 2 strands to make it one.
So
like,
Barry
strong.
is saying something about the skin in the chat. So
Okay. Has he made it before?
you may be right. He says, Leah, I watched your video on this. You'll make life easier to make cord or rope if you peel the skin off the stem, then bash the stalk by bashing the stem on wood or rock with another piece of wood.
So can you make cordage from the stem?
This is the question.
because I wasn't able to do it, Barry. I was not. And I failed at that part. So let's get on with the show. This is very exciting. I can now make rope. I'm a rope maker. I'm just very excited about this.
Now our whole basement smells like this stuff.
I think I could bracelets and all kind of stuff. I'm going to get really good at this. I think this would be a really great kids project. You know?
You know where you learn this kind of stuff?
Old school
survival boot camp.
Old school. And actually, it's called Heritage. What?
It's called Heritage Skills USA now. They just finished the 2025
I'm
one.
so excited because
You did a
now
good job. I'm proud of you. Oh, there you go, Leah.
Yes.
Do you need it? I don't have an extra hair clip for you, but you should. No, you should totally do the whole show that way. Do I have a clip? I might have something I can give you. Here. Can you make use of that?
Maybe.
That's all I can give you.
Okay. That's very exciting.
That's a cool look. Go with it. Run with it. Yes. Barry says, Michelle, play this. All right, let me grab your link because we'll do this.
This is a piece of cordage. Boom, boom, and I made it.
You're a warrior princess.
Made it.
Okay, here we go.
This plant here is a common feature in this terrain. The Maasai name for it's alder pie.
Well,
and,
okay, but
that's
that's
where we
not.
get the name
It's
for
not,
the
it's
gorge,
not this
Alderweireld
plant.
Gorge, because a lot of this grows within the gorge. It's got another nice name
This is
too.
a lot easier to
Mother-in-law's
make cordage
tongue.
out of
You can
something
see
that
why it's got a
big.
point,
Yeah.
and it's
What kind of plant
rubbery.
is this?
But this is wild sisal, and amongst the native
Cecil.
peoples of Africa,
It's a Cecil,
this
like Cecil rope. He said sisal, but we say Cecil here in the United
Oh,
States.
yeah,
has
yeah,
been
yeah.
used for making snares and for making bowstrings. Some people call it the bowstring.
Oh, I could totally
hemp.
make a bowstring from
And,
this.
it's quite interesting how you get the fibres from it.
So this is a different one. This is something totally different, and it looks like it's going to make a lot more.
Very
Oh, yeah.
succulent plant.
Let's make him fast.
Oh.
Let's go 2 time on his succulent plant.
What I need to do is to break it down by pounding it like this. You can see the fibres starting to separate there.
Oh, wow.
Right,
Yeah, it's like
almost
your
solid
thing on
fibres.
steroids.
I learned to do this from bushmen down in the Kalahari.
Well, no wonder they make...
Pounding is just the first stage. You can see the plant softening now. And what I want to do is to split it open. Like that.
It's awesome.
All the way down its length. Pound it just gently now. So now,
I
on
wish
the
it
other end
wasn't
of the
so
stick,
blurry,
I
sorry,
carved it to form
guys.
sort of a blade shape, like that. I'm going to use that now to scrape out the pulp. Now you get to a point where some of the fibres are starting to lift out from the pulp. What we do is we comb those out,
Yeah.
like that,
I could have done that.
and then specifically scrape them down to the bare fibre. Hang those on a bush to dry.
Hang him on a bush to dry.
There we go, there's the raw material. Nice long fibres, for which we can make very
amazing.
strong string.
It's so cool.
Then he rolls on his leg. That's
That's
I could roll it on
awesome.
my leg. I'm going to try to roll it on my leg.
Just add new fibres in as you need. The key thing is to keep these strands equal thicknesses. If one gets thinner than the other, it will tend to wrap around the thick one, and then you only have the strength of one strand rather than the strength of the two combined.
Told you.
These sorts of skills are disappearing because of the availability of man-made fibres. But you think about it, there's not a lot of effort
Oh,
involved.
I love it. That's super fun. I wonder where Cecil grows. Like, if he's like where he's at in the UK. Can we grow it here?
I have to tell you that this is a very satisfying project. And if you have this, I know you can make it from yucca plants too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's super easy though. So like,
Good tip. I love.
you know, maybe people that make fibers, that's why they don't have cellulite, because you're just rubbing that cottage cheese out there, girl. Go on and get it.
I was having a hard time getting mine to you know, see, mine just kept staying straight. Okay, but that's very exciting. That is cooler. That's a lot more fiber than I got.
That is a lot more fiber.
So that was my very cool thing for the day.
Leah told me that when we upload the video, she wants me to put something on there that says, please keep listening. I do get it at the end.
Yes, please do. Yeah, so lots going on this week. Of course, we've got our token migrant attacks in Europe, so that's always fun. And we've got a YouTuber, a very famous YouTuber, went to Rome, and he's shocked. He sees migrants doing drugs in the park.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty bad. Yeah, it's
Wow.
pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
All right. So
Barry says, it's a survivalist who has traveled the world learning these skills. Yes, I have made it too. That's awesome.
Have you, Barry? That's really cool. That's
Not
awesome.
Everybody can be a
'Cause
survivalist.
I don't think he was in the UK. So I'd really like to know, and I'll do like a search on that at some point, the best fiber plants around the world. You know, that'd be something cool to get into, right? All right. We're going to start with something really weird. So some of you know that we are
Here, I gotta fix it.
Swedish.
No, give me the other ear. I need the other ear. I need to
You
put it
may
back
not know that our grandfather is Swedish, but our grandmother
on. Is Norwegian.
she's Norwegian and Swedish.
Right.
So my Nana, who passed away, her parents came over. Her dad was a Norwegian. So my great grandfather was a Norwegian Lutheran minister, married my great grandmother, who was Swedish. And so we are lots of Swedish. We're a little bit Norwegian. We're
How cool
lots
that
of
looks with
Scandinavian.
their thing there.
I'm feeling it.
You feel it?
I'm feeling it.
I think it looks great.
However, something bad.
Oh dear.
The son of Norway's crown princess is charged with rape and sexual assault with double-digit number of alleged victims. So it's very interesting because we've always said that the rape crimes and all these things are from migrants, but actually, the eldest son of Norway's crown princess was slapped with rape and sexual assault charges in a case with a double-digit number of alleged victims. The bombshell charges against Maurice Borg Holby, a 28-year-old son of Princess Mette-Marit, the stepson to the heir of the throne, Prince Haakon, follow him being arrested numerous times in 2024 as accusers come forward. I cannot go into further detail about the number of victims in the case beyond confirming that it is a double-digit number. This guy, he is definitely Norwegian, and you can see that has gone down through. This is definitely one of those lines that is hereditary. The royal, who was previously known as Little Marius, has been open about being a one-time cocaine addict. Holby is absolutely taking the accusations very seriously. However, he doesn't acknowledge any wrongdoing in most cases.
Oh my.
Especially the cases regarding sexual abuse and violence. Evidence leading to the charges came from interviews and also text messages. Holby is facing one case of rape, including 2 cases of rape without blah, 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 and 4 cases of sexual assault and bodily harm. So this is the royal family there in Norway. And he's in the picture with the people, the crown prince, like the dudes. And so that is his biological father. His dad, Morten Borg, served time in prison for drugs and violent offenses. So Norwegians, royal.
Maybe it's time to get rid of the royal families.
I think so. I believe that would probably be the best thing to do at this point. Just get rid of all the royals. You don't need to be here. You don't need to be here. We're done in all the Norwegian countries. Okay, so this was a horrible thing that happened last week. We did not after our last World News program, Orthodox Christians gathered together again at St. Elias Orthodox Church in Damascus, Syria, chanting, "Christ is risen. We are not afraid of your terror." There was a giant attack in Syria and at the Syrian church this week, and they came back together
afterwards.
Mm-hmm. So this happened last Sunday. That's why we didn't report on it. Well, not this, but the attack. So on June 22nd, last week, a suicide bomber targeted the Mar Elias Greek Orthodox Church in Damascus neighborhood of Dwellia, killing at least 25 people and injuring 63. This is a huge attack. This is the largest attack against Syria's Christian community since 1860.
Oh, wow.
The following day, Syrian authorities claimed that the Islamic State was responsible, though IS outlets, Islamic State outlets, have not said anything about the attack so far. On June 24th, the little-known group Sharia Ansar al-Sunnah claimed responsibility for the incident, named the bomber as Mohammed somebody, and described the attack as a response to the government's prohibition on unapproved dawah proselytization efforts in the neighborhood. Notably, the ban was issued after the Salafists tried to proselytize in front of the Mar Alais, in front of this church last March, which may indeed have been why this particular church was targeted. Whatever the case, the incident raises questions about the safety of minorities in Syria, connections with jihadist elements, and a wider security situation. So this SAS group, and it's not possible to know that they did this, but they have signaled an affinity for the Islamic State. The Syrian government has been swift and united in condemning the church attack. They have to, because they needed Christians on their side to overthrow Bashar al-Assad. I am very interested to know why this was not made a big deal, why nobody's talking about it. 24 people died, 63 people were injured. This was I thought it was in response to the Iran attacks.
Well, so I think we need to understand something, that nothing actually makes news that the powers that be don't want to make news.
Yeah.
And so it does not serve any of the powers that be to allow a story like this to happen in Syria when we are solely responsible for
Overthrowing the
government that has now allowed this terror attack to happen.
It makes you look like your fault.
Because it is.
I do believe so.
It's just because it looks like it is.
Let's pray real quick. God, I just lift up our brothers and sisters in the Greek Orthodox Church there in Syria.
Amen.
I ask, Father God, that you comfort their families. I ask that they would have a knowing and assurance that their families are in heaven. I ask that you provide for them, that you take care of them, that you would surround this church with love. And I thank you for their bold perseverance, that they came together and they said, we are Christians and we will not be persuaded to leave our faith. We will not live in fear. And I just pray that you continue to make them bolder. And I just pray that you get rid of this radical Islamist government in Syria, and that Syria will be Christian again in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Well, let's go to Barry's favorite little Irish
lassie
here. I loved this little clip I saw here. She talks about, they told you raw milk was dangerous. And then they handed you, yes, hormone-laced, ultra-processed, shelf-stable sludge and called it safe.
Think about this for a second. Raw milk is banned in so many places because it's so dangerous. But a neon blue energy drink is absolutely fine. Feed it to your kids. No problem. Like what? So the real question is it about safety or is it about control? Because at the end of the day, if you can get milk straight from the source and feed your family without a barcode, then that's the problem, isn't it? You're not a customer anymore.
I love that so much.
You're not a customer anymore. Love her accent.
She's brilliant. I know.
I love it so much.
I follow her on Instagram.
A peer-reviewed study in the Czech Republic of 1.3 million women there in the Czech Republic found that in 2022, vaccinated women had 33 fewer successful conceptions per 1,000 than the unvaccinated
33%.
women. 33%, sorry. This is not speculation. It's data. This is actually being recorded. During the study period, there were approximately 1.3 million women ages 18 to 39 years old in the Czech Republic. And the proportion of the COVID-19 vaccinated women increased from January 2021 until reaching a steady state of around 70% by the end of 2021. At least from June 2021, it looks like the successful conceptions per 1,000 women were considered lower for women who were vaccinated compared to those that were unvaccinated before the successful conception. Furthermore, successful conception rates for the vaccinated group were much lower than expected based on the proportion of the total population. Conclusions. In the Czech Republic, successful conception rates were subsequently lower in the vaccinated.
So I want to point this out just from anecdotal evidence for me in my life. Okay. From 2021 to literally 2024, I want to say, I did not see pregnant women or babies. I would love to see a comparison of American birth rates over the past 15 years. You know what I mean? And watch them. I mean, I don't know if there's like a graph we can even find, but like just in my life, I did not see babies. I don't know if they were just having them and hiding them away, or if they were pregnant, they didn't go out in public, but I didn't see pregnant women and I did not see babies. Now I'm seeing pregnant women and babies everywhere. And so it's like, I don't know how I can be the only person that noticed the absence of babies and pregnant women. I just did not see pregnant women anywhere. And so I kind of wonder, this is my guess, if we aren't in a bit of a baby boom. And what I mean by that is the women that were not able to conceive because they got vaccinated, I'm hoping that it has had time to get out of their system or something like that. And so now, like, all at once, everybody's able to get pregnant, which is why it seems. But like, because if the people that I'm seeing now, like everywhere I go, I'm seeing people that are pregnant, I'm seeing babies. If that's the standard, then truly we were missing something, because for 2.5, 3 years, I saw maybe like one pregnant person. Like I just didn't see, and I heard of pregnant people, but I didn't see them.
You heard of them.
I heard people telling me, "Oh, my daughter-in-law is trying to have a baby and they don't want to go to the hospital."
I heard of a lot of miscarriages, and
I heard of a ton of miscarriages,
of babies born with problems.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go over here. 4 Syrian migrants are arrested over alleged essay of 9 young girls in a German swimming pool.
Oh my gosh.
The Syrian nationals, we just talked about a Syrian suicide bomber. There's a lot of stuff going on with the Syrians there for allegedly essaying 9 underage girls at a swimming pool in a small town of Germany. A spokesman for the police headquarters told the Bild newspaper that 4 men ages 8 to 28 have been arrested.
Oh my gosh.
Criminally charged for allegedly
Wait a minute.
groping.
Men aged what?
18 to 28.
You said 8.
18 to 28.
Okay.
At a public swimming pool. The incident, which occurred last Sunday, initially saw 5 girls come forward and claim they were sexually harassed. The youngest victim was 11 years old. Do you know there's a lot of swimming pools in Germany?
Really?
They do. They like to swim.
Okay.
Yep. And it looks like I don't want to go into all the other.
Do they have the names of these perpetrators?
I'm sure, but I'm not going to give them. Also in Germany, a German court overturns a ban of right-wing compact magazine. So in a significant blow to the censorship apparatus in Germany, a court has lifted the ban imposed on a magazine, right-leaning magazine called Compact, and it was induced by former leftist Interior Minister Nancy Faeser, who supposedly said that they were extreme. I'm going to show you something extreme that needs to be banned. The Federal Administration Court in Leipzig affirmed this week that freedom of expression protections must be afforded to the press. If you can say free Palestine, you should be able to speak what you need to in their magazine. Mm-hmm. It looks like it was July of last year, the then Interior Minister issued a ban against the publication, arguing that it served as a central mouthpiece for the right-wing extremist scene. What about the left-wing extremist scene? Fraser, who was ousted from her role following her leftist Social Democrat Party's embarrassing defeat in the general election this year, pledged to continue to fight against the enemies of the Constitution. So she banned the opposition's voice, and the people voted her out. Mm-hmm. That's how it's supposed to be done. In turn, the Compact editor-in-chief, Jorgen Elezar, said that his magazine prevailed over the authoritarian, not to say fascist attacks of the Interior Minister, adding that the judicial decision was a victory of David over Goliath, a victory
awesome.
for democracy over dictatorship, and a victory for the people over the regime. Elezar, Elzar, I don't know how to say it, went on to say that the August edition of the magazine can be delivered, however, and noted some difficulties remain. So it's interesting that you would ban the actual just magazine. The failure of Faeser, who has also faced criticism for writing an Antifa-linked magazine, was roundly criticized by establishment politicians. Christian Social Union Bundestag member Alexander Hoffman said that it shed a devastating light on Ms. Faeser's expertise. Former Free Democrat MP Konstantin Kuhl said that the decision was embarrassing for the Federal Ministry of the Interior.
So can I just take one moment? I know you have a big show here today, but I want to kind of expound on a kind of a philosophical thought that I was having as you were talking about this story. Okay. I think that we have arrived in 2025 at this idea that even people that are Christians and have morals believe that morality is just two sides of a different coin. Whatever, let's just take the right and the left as our example. You got the right and you got the left. The left are a team that may win and the right are a team that may win. And you've got this kind of idea that your moral code is just within you. And if the populace at large decide that the moral code that we should have is depravity, well, then it's no longer depravity anymore. It's just the prevailing, it's what everyone wants. So you go with it, right? That's democracy. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So as I'm thinking about the banning of a magazine versus what we believe should be banned, which we're going to get to here in the Hungarian, banning of the LGBT Pride Parade. What is the difference between us saying you should not ban information, because those that are banning information are the ones that are trying to control it? So the left could easily come in with our next story and say, but you guys are hypocrites because you're saying the same thing. And this is where the philosophical thought comes in as I'm thinking this. And we have to remember that we are flesh and blood human beings. And within our makeup, because we are designed by our Creator to know that there is a law of right and wrong. And we ought to ban things that are wrong, and we ought to encourage things that are right. And so it's not a matter of, well, I believe that this is right and you believe that that is right, and one of us could be right. No. There are immutable laws. This is why we go back to John Locke. That's why Patriot Gallery did her 100 Days of John Locke. Laws of nature and nature's God, meaning our Creator and Lord, the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end, has given us we actually get to see it in the Bible, but it's written inside of our very code that we know. You don't murder, that's wrong. You don't rape, that's wrong. You don't molest, it's wrong. All of these things. But guess what? We also know, and I know I'm on these big public platforms, we also know that the things that happen between the people of these colorful parades is wrong. It's wrong. It's morally wrong. Okay? So banning a magazine that is essentially conservative, Christian, wholesome family, they are trying to rip your moral code from you. They don't want you to have any connection to that moral code so that they can implement Satan's immoral code on society. So as we get into this next story, I want you guys to see the contrast here that banning things that are wrong is of God. And I was reading in Romans chapter 13, which is one of the most misinterpreted scriptures in the entire Bible, that the church has then said, you just obey the government, whatever, no matter what. But they're not reading on further into Romans 13 that talks about how these governments are instituted for one purpose and one purpose only, to punish evil
and to reward the righteous. And
so if the government is not doing that, then they are not ordained by God and ought not to be obeyed. So if you don't read that whole scripture in context, then you don't understand the role of government. So we have these churches and the body of Christ in several westernized countries, whether it's the United States or other countries. And thank God Hungary's taking a lead saying, no, we're a Christian nation. And we know that our job as the government is to stop evil and reward good. That is the job of the government.
You got one job. Now Hungary is doing its job. Okay. And we got Greta over here, Thunberg.
Greta.
Let's play her first here. She's upset. Viktor Orbán says, no, you can't continue to radicalize and pervert our people and the ever child of the EU.
Today I am joining thousands of people in Budapest in Hungary who are defying Viktor Orbán's desperate attempt to ban the Pride March. Pride is both a protest but also a celebration of love and who we are. This is yet another fascist attack on human rights, but you cannot ban love. So I hope to see you all on the streets. Today
you cannot ban love. Now, we did a whole show on the origin of like French love. It's pretty gross. So the French don't see love as you and I see love. So when people say, like I heard,
love is love, Leah.
Yeah, so I heard who was
True
Princess
statement.
Leah's mom. She Debbie
Oh,
Reynolds.
yeah.
She's like, you can't help but who you love. And when the left and sinners say love, they mean you can't help who you have an attraction to and who you want to be romantically involved with.
No. Who you want to be sexually involved with.
Who you want to be involved with, exactly. So there could be a dog, it could be a cow, it could be a person, it could be anything.
Could be a child.
Their whole deal is consent, right? Doesn't matter how perverted or weird it is.
Right.
Right? Well, that's like when it comes to the LGBT stuff. We need to start putting our foot down. And Viktor Orbán, in his sanity, has said no. And so this is what we need to... I see Christians even all the time. So Heidi Montage is this weird-looking, alien-looking woman who just married Jeff Bezos. And she is constantly putting herself out there in these pictures. And she's had so many surgeries, you can't recognize her. I was thinking of watching The Joker with Jack Nicholson. And you shouldn't watch it, but we did. Or it was a Batman when he was a Joker. And he had this giant smile on his face, and it had been this really bad surgery.
Right.
That's what she looks like. She looks like the Joker. Like she just does. And she's had all these surgeries, and she actually was a very beautiful person. Kind of looked like Catherine, the actress lady who married Kirk Douglas. Yeah. And she looked just like her. And then now imagine Catherine Zeta-Jones looking like the Joker. It's disgusting. But she's got this tiny little waist, breast implants, all the surgeries, all the Botox.
A brosier to the inauguration.
She wore a brosier to the inauguration. And people on the right, like Tracy Beans and other people, are like, why are you down in this girl? Why are you dissing her? Let her live her best life or whatever like that. No. Jeff Bezos owned the Washington Post that went full on against us, full on against Trump, full for censorship. And now Ivanka Trump is there at this wedding with the anti-Harriet Beecher Stowe over there, Oprah Winfrey, and you've got all the other famous people. Ivanka Trump is not one of us. I got to tell you guys, I know you don't want to hear this. Trump is not one of us. This is a world that is not... I'm watching it from the outside, but I am not part of their stupidity. Now, I say all that because... these people are putting their perversion right in our face and telling us you must accept this. Just let them be, Leah. What's your problem? Well, because guess what? I don't need to see this girl's chest. But you know what? If I wanted to watch the inauguration, she put it right in my face.
So I actually have been waiting to open up this message. I knew where it was going. And I don't like negative comments. I just don't. That being said, they come and occasionally. So we got this after our program. I don't remember at what point. This came on Saturday. This is from Clementine, Steve, and Brenda. They say, I got to tell you, you two are a huge disappointment. We watched you on the morning show with Ed and Karen. You remember them? The adulterers? Anyway, we looked forward to your appearances. Please stop bashing our wonderful president, Donald J. Trump. Divisive much? Don't think anyone is going to hell for saying that F-bomb MB. I prefer a strong man protecting me and my children's future. No need to reply, LOL.
So there's a thing that I live by.
Called the Bible.
I have to live by this. And you know who else lived by this? Our founding fathers.
Amen.
We do not have a country, but with his blessings. And I read today and this fits in perfectly with this. First Chronicles, chapter 6. And this was with Solomon was dedicating the temple. And as he was dedicating the temple, he began to list things that might happen and how the children, people of God could come back.
Well, you're looking for that.
Chronicles,
Can I point something out while we're talking about? Because I get people from like this, and I'm glad that they liked our appearances on the on Real America's Voice. I'm glad that they tuned in.
I'm glad that they called out Ed and Karen for being adulterers.
We don't have proof of that. We just suspect. However,
but what I'm saying, you can call them out for bad behavior.
Right? Exactly. So. Here's the thing that gets me. People like that. I'm not going to say that they would say this, but people like that would say, I did not vote for a pastor. Mm-hmm. Let me tell y'all something very interesting. You do realize that what David did with Bathsheba, Israel was punished for. Mm-hmm. And all of the kings, Israel did well or they did not do well based on the righteousness of the king. Now, we may not have a king, but throughout the entire Bible, we are told that we should back and support righteousness. And we should want those that are in our leadership to be righteous. And I will take you back to 1776, because coming up in just a few days, we are on our 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence and the founding of this country, which is so phenomenal. But our founding fathers told us in quote after quote after quote after quote that we must prefer men of righteousness. You don't have a beef with me. You have a beef with our founding fathers.
Well, they must have just been wrong.
And the founding fathers were not wrong. We must hold people to a higher standard. And no, I'm not saying that anybody is ever going to hell for using the F-bomb. That wasn't the point. The point is that as I have watched Donald Trump, now that he has won his second term, you know, they always joke about women that once they get their man, they just let themselves go to hell in a handbasket, and they, you know, they get fat and all this, that, and the other because they don't have to keep up an appearance. The same thing also happens with, you know, men that manipulate. They manipulate to get a wife, and then they become this, you know, really, they can only hold up. Donald Trump could only hold up so long the facade of who he was. I'm not bashing the president. I'm not bashing Donald Trump. He's bashing me. He's bashing Christianity. He's bashing this nation. When you get up there as the president of the United States or the vice president of the United States and you flip the bird, you're bashing the United States. You're bashing the people that voted for you. That's all that Donald Trump has been doing since he got elected. And even before then, he knew that he had the votes. But the fact that he had, and this goes, we were talking about Jeff Bezos and this fiance of his that literally wore a busty see-through bra to the inauguration. But that aside, all of the people that are responsible for the censorship of our voices were there given front row seats to the inauguration. And Trump showed all of America. He didn't even wear a red tie. He wore a blue and a red one, saying, I am not a right-wing conservative. I am not a Republican. I am following middle of the road, and I'm going to go with the people that will back and support me financially. Those are the people that I'm going to put forward. That's what he's been doing. So you can't stand here and I'm sitting here as just a tiny little old American in Ohio in a basement with a podcast that, you know, just like everybody else is struggling to make ends meet, but was backing and supporting Donald Trump, thinking that he stood for the little guy. Meanwhile, all of the decisions that he's making seem to tell everybody and to tell the world, I don't really care about the little guy. If the little guy does, this is Donald Trump. If the little guy does good because of my decisions, then great.
Yeah.
Great. That's good. But that's not his primary focus.
Right.
He doesn't care that you guys struggle to buy groceries. He doesn't care that you can't afford to pay your mortgage.
He doesn't care.
He literally does not care.
He does not care. He doesn't. He does not care. He literally said that gas prices are $1.98,
and they're not.
They were $3.69 last night at Kroger. George Washington says that
And pause, because I can't with the Penning Joseph on Facebook. We have done episodes on this, and I cannot do an episode on this every single time that it gets brought up. Okay, and I can't get into this. Washington was a Mason. Freemasons are not Christians, but they do claim to be Christians.
George Washington was not a Freemason and I don't think you got to study the history. John Quincy Adams actually ran on an anti-Mason platform, and the Masons were changed and they were switched right around that time. So
yes,
whatever.
We are anti-Freemason, but the Freemasons that the founding fathers were a part of are not the Freemasons that are the Illuminati that we all hate.
There was a switch that happened in that generation, and you have to go back and
I can't address it every single time we go to bring up a founding father. I love y'all. I'm glad you're here, but I'm with these types of comments, I'm like, guys, you can't throw out the founding fathers.
George
Washington was one of the most godly men. He was known as Bulletproof George Washington. And even the Native Americans knew that the Great Spirit, aka God Almighty, Jehovah Jireh, the King of Kings, the Lord of the Lords, protected this man. And the Native Americans knew it because he was so anointed. Don't get me with the Freemason stuff. I can't.
Of all the dispositions and habits which lead to political prosperity, religion and morality meaning you don't swear, you don't walk naked in public. We're literally talking about the LGBT people who are putting their wee-wees out in front of kids, okay, are indispensable supports. In vain would that man claim the tribute of patriotism, who should labor to subvert these great pillars of human happiness, morality. When you are F-bombing on live TV, if you're giving the bird, you are subverting the pillar of happiness, which is morality. And we're allowed to, we know what morality is. And I know a lot of people like, oh, well, Leah, you don't want people walking around naked in public. You must be like for hijab and radical Islam. No, guys. You have body parts, and then we all know there are body parts that we don't show in public. Okay? It's put inside of you. You just know right and wrong. Okay? Viktor Orbán is not banning people walking down his streets in t-shirts. Okay?
Laura Logan, interviewed by James O'Keefe, okay? Literally, her entire interview, all you can see is the bust sticking out. That woman is an immoral slut, and I am telling you, she has infiltrated MAGA, and she gets all of these men to take pictures with her with literally 8 inches of cleavage sticking out. We all know that it is wrong. Okay, that stuff is wrong. You are never going to see that kind of stuff come out of Leah and I. And we've gone to several events where literally people have come up to us and thanked us for dressing modestly. I don't even think we dress that modestly. It's not that we dress modestly. We just dress normal. The rest of those people are dressing like hookers.
And ladies know.
Y'all know.
When you're wearing something to be trying to get somebody to be
the only ones that I'm going to tell you this, there are larger women, their cleavage just goes up almost to their neck. They can't help it. Yeah. That's different.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about here. She specifically wears shirts that go down to her daggone belly button.
In vain,
she knows what she's doing. Little
these
hooker.
Great pillars of human happiness, these firmest props of the duties of men and citizens, the mere politician, equally with the pious man, ought to respect and cherish them. The politician and the regular person needs to respect religion and morality. Samuel Adams, it is our duty to extend our wishes to the happiness of the great family of man I conceive, that we cannot better express ourselves than by humbly supplicating the supreme ruler of the world, that the rod of tyrants may be broken into pieces and the oppressed made free again, that wars may cease in all the earth, and that the confusions that are and have been among nations may be overruled by promoting and speedily bringing on that holy and happy period when the kingdom of our Lord Jesus Christ may be everywhere established and all people everywhere willing to bow to the scepter of him who is Prince of Peace. Samuel Adams was actually not a dispensationalist. He was what we call a historicist as far as end times theology. Mm-hmm. And he is saying that they believed that the kingdom would spread and the whole world would be filled with the righteousness of God and serving God. Now, 2 Chronicles, I'm going to read it from the New King James. And Solomon, okay, who was not a king, who was not a priest or a pastor, the Lord said he would dwell in the dark cloud. I have surely built you an exalted house, a house where you would live forever. Then the king turned around and blessed the whole assembly of Israel. And while all the assembly of Israel was standing, he said, "Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, who has fulfilled with his hands what he spoke with his mouth to my father David." He's dedicating the temple, saying, "Since the day that I brought my people out of the land of Egypt, I have chosen no city from any tribe of Israel in which to build a house, that my name might be there. Nor did I choose any man to be ruler over my people Israel. Yet I have chosen Jerusalem, that my name may be there. And I have chosen David to be over my people Israel. Now it was in the heart of my father David to build a temple for the name of the Lord God of Israel. But the Lord said to my father, whereas it was in your heart to build a temple for my name, and you did well that what was in your heart, nevertheless, you shall not build the temple, but your son will come from your body, shall build the temple. So the Lord has fulfilled this." And he put the ark there. And as Solomon is dedicating the altar in the presence of Israel, he spread out his hands. And he says, "Lord God of Israel, there is no God in heaven like you, who keep your covenant and your mercy with your servants, who walk with all their hearts. You have kept what you promised your servant David, my father." And he says, "But will God indeed dwell with men on earth? Behold, the heaven and heavens cannot contain you, much less this temple which I have built. Yet regard the prayer of your servant and his supplication, O Lord, and listen to their cry, and listen to the prayer which your servant is praying before you. For your eyes will be open to the temple day and night. And if anyone sins against his neighbor and is forced to take an oath, or comes and takes an oath before your altar in this temple, then hear from heaven and act and judge your servants, bringing retribution on the wicked by bringing his day upon his head, and justifying the righteous by giving him according to his righteousness. Or if your people Israel are defeated before an enemy because they have sinned against you, and return to confess your name and pray and make supplication before you in this temple, then hear from heaven and forgive the sin of Israel and bring them back to the land. And when the heavens are shut up and there's no rain because the people have sinned against you, and when they pray toward this place and confess your name and turn from their sin because you afflict them, then hear from heaven and forgive your sin. And when there's famine and all these different things that happen, and so he goes on to say, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and turn from their wicked ways, then you will hear from heaven.
And then I'll hear from heaven.
So when we're trying to see a blessing on this nation, when we're trying to see a removal of wickedness, a removal from sin, or a removal from oppression, we have to, guys, it's not enough. I think for some reason, Christians, and that's actually in 2 Chronicles chapter 7.
Do you know how many times the church quotes that? But then every time I go to call out something that's going on in MAGA or with Trump or whatever,
it's like, no, we're in sin. It's fine.
They're like, no,
it's
we
fine,
don't have to humble ourselves. We don't have to turn from our
sin
wicked
is
way.
Fine. Stop,
God will still bless our land. Michelle and Leah, the more you call out our sin, the more God won't bless our land.
Oh my gosh, Leah and Michelle, stop talking about our sin, because God is like totally not going to bless us if you keep mentioning the sin that we're in. If you keep mentioning that Donald Trump supports abortion and that he actually advocates for abortion and that the Republican platform allows for the stinking LGBTQ, and even Viktor Orbán and all these people would go with Trump if he banned LGBTQ marriages, period. Okay? For some reason, they made a pact with the devil, and that devil is Peter Thiel,
who's a homosexual,
who is a rabid homosexual.
And funded J.D. Vance.
He is a very dark man. And you know what? Before I get there, you know what? We are going to talk about Hungary, but you need to see this clip. I'm going to see if I've got it up.
You have a Peter Thiel clip?
I do not have it up, but Peter Thiel. Oh my goodness. Tell me that I retweeted this.
Didn't we play it already? Because I've seen it.
No, you have not.
I have not seen
Here
this
it
one?
is. It's in my timeline.
All right, I'll find it.
Peter Thiel is absolutely insane. Peter Thiel, this guy.
We didn't play this on Friday?
No.
I've seen this clip.
Okay. Peter Thiel is running the White House. He put J.D. Vance, he put $25 million into J.D. Vance to win the Senate in Ohio. His goal was to get himself in the White House so that he could destroy us.
I feel certain we played this on Friday, but I guess not. Okay.
He is a sick man. He is sick.
I don't know. I would.
Let me rewind the question.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit in this.
Should the human race survive?
Yes.
Okay.
But I also would I also would like us to radically solve these problems.
Right.
And so, you know, it's always, I don't know, you know, yeah, transhumanism is this, you know, the ideal was this radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body. And there's a critique of, let's say, the trans people in a sexual context, or I don't know, a transvestite is someone who changes their clothes and cross dresses. And a transsexual is someone where you change your, I don't know, penis into a vagina. And we can then debate how well those surgeries work. But we want more transformation than that. The critique is not that it's weird and unnatural. It's, man, it's so pathetically little. And okay, we want more than cross-dressing or changing your sex organs. We want you to be able to change your heart and change your mind and change your whole body. And then Orthodox Christianity, by the way, the critique Orthodox Christianity has of this is these things don't go far enough. Like that transhumanism is just changing your body, but you also need to transform your soul, and you need to transform your whole self. And so,
right. But the other,
where,
wait. I generally agree with what I think is your belief that religion should be a friend to science and ideas of scientific progress. I think any idea of divine providence has to encompass the fact that we have progressed and achieved and done things that would have been unimaginable to our ancestors. But it still also seems like, yeah, the promise of Christianity in the end is you get the perfected body and the perfected soul through God's grace. And the person who tries to do it on their own with a bunch of machines is likely to end up as a dystopian character.
Well, it's... Let's articulate this.
And you can have a heretical form of Christianity, that says something else.
I don't know. I think the word nature does not occur once in the Old Testament, and so you know, if you and there is a word in which a sense in which the way I understand the Judeo-Christian inspiration is it is about transcending nature. It is about overcoming things. And, and the closest thing you can say to nature is that people are fallen, and that's the natural thing in a Christian sense, is that you're messed up. And that's true. But, there's some ways that, with God's help, you are supposed to transcend that and overcome that.
This man has found a way to marry the most diabolical AI transhumanism in the world with saying that God and Christians are supposed to transform themselves.
But see, this is exactly what has been being preached in the prosperity movement. Humanism.
He says transvestitism, the problem is that
it doesn't go far enough.
It doesn't go far enough. We are trying to stop it. And J.D. Vance is out there saying we want to stop it. And did you know in this big, beautiful bill, it would ban trans surgeries for children? Thomas Massey, in the ad that the Trump people put out against Thomas Massey, said Thomas Massey is voting against stopping the sex changing of children. After they put that ad out, they took that provision out of the bill.
You're kidding. But what else is in the bill that Thomas Massey calls out? And we played this on Friday. For those of you that don't know, and this is one of the most diabolical parts of the bill, and should tell you everything that you need to know about where this whole thing is headed, funded by Peter Thiel.
Have no right
for 10 years
to control AI.
It strips states' rights away.
Or they do not get federal funding. What is this monstrosity?
Because they want to transform America into a technocracy,
little by little.
And RFK coming out and saying, I want every single person to have a wearable medical device.
And you wear it enough, and then it's implanted into your brain. And then now you're hooked up to the matrix in your mind. These guys sit there, and now we know RFK and Callie Means and Susie Wiles, they are all sitting there saying, how do we and JD Vance, you look at, he's lying to you through his eyes. There are a few little pieces pieces of meat that they keep throwing to us. Guys, they are the ones tasked by Satan to usher in the digital age, the digital currencies, the Bitcoin currencies. That's how they're trying to play it out. And they are trying to usher in this transhumanism, and they want to start using it on middle class people and to experiment on them. And then, because their goal is to experiment because Jared Kushner and Mark Zuckerberg are two of the people that are terrified of death. And specifically Mark Zuckerberg, he wants to put your brain into another body. This is what they dream about, and to live forever. But with Peter Thiel, you can see that with his gayness, he consumes mankind. That has a problem with consuming mankind. And actually, his gay lover got killed. And he had, because his husband found out that this gay lover. So I don't know. Was he involved in murder? I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. I don't know. Was the other guy involved in murder? I don't know. Seems awful suspicious. I'm not calling out anything. I'm just saying it looks like murder to me. Fell over a balcony.
Linda says, watched this interview. So crazy. He is evil and sick.
But guys, Peter Thiel he's in the White House. He's the White House right now. He's pulling the strings.
He's pulling he's got more strings being pulled in the White House than Klaus Schwab.
He put so much money into Trump. He literally, JD Vance in the state of Ohio was number 8 of 8.
When he was running for the Senate.
He was the last
No one wanted him.
No one wanted him. Nobody knew who he was. Sock. He was like a dirty old sock.
And I'm going to read this comment over here
and now
from
he's
Penning.
Vice President.
Remember when JD Vance said he was a never Trumper and that Trump was a despicable human being and the future Hitler of America?
And he also wrote articles on how MAGA is easily
manipulated
and manipulated.
And he said I could manipulate them, and then he literally proceeded to do so. Okay, so listen, none of this is about bashing Trump, but I do want to read this comment because I think this opens up for a brilliant kind of rounding off of this specific topic, and we're going to keep having to talk about it for a while. Hagar on YouTube says, ladies, you are right to point out Trump's flaws and shortcomings. I agree with you. I also know that I would have bigger complaints if that cackling witch had won. Now you're talking about Kamala Harris. Here's where, I hope that you guys are applying these types of lessons to your own life, because I know that I am. The devil always tries to keep you at either or.
It would have been so much worth with
either or. And I'm like, hang on, repentance. And Barry, you left a really good comment about repentance here. Repentance is going back and seeing where you went wrong and how you ended up where you were at with a black and white decision. Okay. So when Leah and I say we have repented from our support of Donald Trump, I'm going all the way back to 2016. I'm going all the way back to 2015. So I had called Trump out then, and I knew that he was disingenuous then. But because I was so excited about MAGA and the people and the patriots, and I began to say, okay, no, I think that this might be.
Mainstream media was
and
so
the left had thrown him under the bus, and so over the years, we began to side with Trump,
defend him,
and we lost our YouTube because of Trump. Okay, we lost so much because of Donald Trump. But I'm not bitter about it, and I never was bitter about that. I only pointed out to show you how dedicated we were. Okay, totally dedicated to the cause. I sat here for
the only Trump flag in our neighborhood, the only Trump signs in our neighborhood,
practically. I sat here and I streamed the Rudy Giuliani
in the beginning of 2020, at least.
Election hearings.
We've been
for 8 hours. I would sit here and I defended this man. Okay, so here's the thing. Just because I would not have wanted Kamala Harris to win, you say that you would have bigger complaints if she had won. I would pose to you, I'm not convinced that that's true, and let me tell you why. Because people ask us all the time, what are you resisting? We're the resistance chicks. Well, what are you resisting? Your side is in power right now. Well, no, actually, it's not, because I'm on God's side and God is in power. But what you see historically is when the side that you are on, for all intents and purposes, is not in power, you fight. And right now, because quote unquote, everybody thinks that Donald Trump is in power, which means we can let the country run on autopilot, which means we can just trust Donald Trump with every decision. The right and conservatives and Christians they're just sitting back and they're like, man, it's so good to have Trump as our president. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to fight for anything. We don't have to call him out. We don't have to assess anything. We don't have to think for ourselves. We don't have to seek God. Christians are no longer on their face fighting for our nation because they believe that Donald Trump is saving it. So they're not asking God to save it because they believe that God put Donald Trump in our country to save it. So we don't have, it's just hands off. It's autopilot. Let God and Donald Trump save the world. Meanwhile, we are headed to hell in a handbasket.
We got a lot of stories to get through.
With this AI garbage.
Yeah.
And immorality.
Yeah.
So my point in saying all of this is I'm not convinced that it is better with a I'm just not. Yeah. I'm not even convinced that it was better without Hillary. What I mean by that is we would have been fighting.
Yeah, that's really good. I really appreciate that. Pride Parade held in Budapest in defiance of ban from conservative Orbán government. Activists and others took the streets in Budapest on Saturday for a pride parade, despite the conservative government enacting a de facto ban on such demonstration earlier this year. Thousands gathered in the Hungarian capital yesterday after Budapest Pride announced that they would continue to hold their annual debauchery parade, a defiance of legislation aimed at preventing public demonstrations that threaten the mental development of children, including exposing children to sexual or LGBTQ content. You do not get to put your wee-wee in public. Okay? That's what you don't get to do. You're in public. Okay? These gay pride parades are about sexuality and sexuality only.
Amen.
Okay? You're a man. You're a man. You don't need a pride parade by what you do sexually.
Come on.
Okay? Yeah. Oh, people aren't accepting me because I'm a gay dude. Yeah, because it's gross. 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 People don't play with poo, baby. They don't play with poo. And you play with poo. That's all you do. When you say I'm gay, you're saying I play with poo. Okay. You're disgusting. You're disgusting. You're disgusting.
It's unnatural.
It's a disgusting and unnatural
The
unnatural
Bible
act.
itself says that it goes against nature.
Okay? You don't play with poo. And you know what? I saw a video of gay men saying things they don't talk about being gay. We eat poo. Oh, yeah, that's really funny. No, it's gross and it's wrong and you're going to get worms.
Yeah.
Okay, the planned route for the parade passed by at least 10 playgrounds, you perverts, you pedophile perverts, which families and children often go to on purpose. Despite the police issuing a ban on the event this year, the organizers decided to proceed with the demonstration nonetheless. They were also supported by the liberal Budapest mayor, blah, blah, blah. Freedom and love cannot be banned. Organizers of the event face criminal charges, potential jail time, and will be held responsible for any damages. Just lock them up. Viktor Orbán, whose party spearheaded the legislation banning such demonstrations, stated that while the police have the authority to forcefully disperse the parade, the government would likely opt to pursue legal consequences instead. The issue has sparked widespread controversy throughout Europe, with fellow EU member states demanding Brussels impose additional sanctions on Hungary for supposedly failing to uphold the human rights and fundamental freedoms of all people, including the LGBTIQI people. Well, you know what? If you don't need to put out all your sexuality out there, okay, fine. Do your little parade. But that's what you're doing, okay? This week, EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen, the witch, also weighed in, calling the Orbán government to allow the Pride Parade to occur without fear of any criminal or administration sanctions. To the LGBTQII+, I'm just so bought in the cult community in Hungary and beyond. I will always be your ally. In response, Viktor Orbán said, I urge the European Commission to refrain from interfering in the law enforcement affairs of member states where it has no role to play. I also call on the Commission to focus its efforts on the pressing challenges facing the European Union, areas where it does have a clear role and responsibility, and where it has made serious mistakes over recent years, such as energy crisis, erosion of European competitiveness. According to a recent poll, the majority of Hungarian people back the government of Viktor Orbán. Now, with this in mind, the UK held their LGBTQI parade. And I want to just play that because this, here we go. Actually, it's Ireland, sorry. Drag queen carries a Palestinian flag during an LGBTQI pride parade. Did we mention how weird it is for gay people to be siding with the Palestinian people who actually kill gays? And they have kids marching in this parade of debauchery. You must be born again. Thank you, sir. That's a good Irishman right there. Look at all these good Irish Christians. Herein is love, not that we loved God, but that he first loved us and sent his son to be the propitiation for our sins. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man can come to the Father but by me.
I'm proud of
Thank you to the Irish Christians who are standing against this display of debauchery.
Amen.
Because they have Palestinians trying to stand there with the LGBTQI people. It's just a bunch of nonsense there. Just a bunch of nonsense.
The Palestinians aren't standing with the LGBTQ. It's the LGBTQ people that are trying to stand with the Palestinians. And the Palestinians are over there going like, we don't want nothing to do with y'all people.
Yep. Let's play a little video here. Let's be reminded about the Syrian refugees that groped some girls in the pool. But here is Budapest, Hungary. There's no fake Islamic asylum seekers here. Just a safe, regular, normal country. It's almost, you can close that down. Keep going. It's past the bright parts. This is what Europe used to look like in the 80s and 90s when I watched Rick Steves. This was normal. This was normal for all of Europe before the Islamic invasion. I'm ready to go home. I want to visit. It's like a nice place to see. Viktor Orbán, you with me. We're gonna walk the town tonight safely. We just want safety. Just want to not be robbed.
Oh my gosh.
All right,
Leah.
so I'm contrasting that with this guy. His name is Kurt Katz. He's a YouTuber with 3.4 million subscribers. He is currently in Rome, and he can't believe what he's seeing. This video has over 344,000 likes. Nobody can understand why this could ever be allowed to happen in Rome. I'm sorry, guys. There is an F-bomb here.
I can probably try to mute it.
Look at this.
Well, he says it.
Look at the fucking.
Go look
well,
like he blocked it.
Okay, that's fine.
This is Rome, guys.
Like the Casbah.
This looks like in Bangladesh or something. Look at this, guys. Look at the state of this place. Look at this, guys. This is Rome. This is Europe. Does this look like Europe to you? I don't see a single Italian here, guys. I am more Italian than any of these people. Look at this.
Occhio amico mio, perché noi qua non siamo ben visti, quindi stiamo sempre attenti.
Be careful, guy. You are not well regarded here. Let's always be careful and keep our eyes open. I guess they know him as some sort of.
Quindi stiamo sempre attenti, occhi aperti.
Sì.
È la strada molto pericolosa dove spacciano e vengono robbati.
Saying that the street is dangerous.
No, sono pericolosissimi.
Sì? Perché?
Perché hanno i coltelli tutti quanti, i maceti. Con
Maceti?
Sì, loro.
Che no.
Tutti.
Look at all these guys.
Non fatti vedere troppo qua. Una telecamera, amico mio.
Yeah. Look at all the shits on the floor. And here they are, just loitering.
Molto pericolosi.
Very dangerous, he's saying.
Se passo là io adesso, sono un centinaio, mi caricano, sicuro.
They will definitely gang up on me for sure.
There's another video to the right. They're doing drugs in the streets in Rome.
Where you from, man?
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh?
Smoking crack.
Why you come to Italy? Why did you come to Italy?
Ti sei fumato il crack? Ti sei fumato? Guarda che
Look, he's got some in his hand. Man, this whole park is just full of these kids. Look at the state of Rome. Look at the state of Europe, guys.
Attenzione che è molto
Watch out,
pericoloso.
because here it is, very dangerous.
He's telling me it's very dangerous. These guys, look, here's a broken beer bottle.
Bravissimo. È molto pericoloso, ecco.
He's telling me it's very dangerous, yeah. And they don't want to be on film. Look at all of them. Oh, now they're getting angry. Look at them.
It looks like a zombie world.
All of these guys are kids, addicts.
Don't they know the zombies actually died?
Get away. Space, keep your space. Huh? Keep your space, man. We're not in your country. We're not in your country, man.
Bullshit. That one is
bullshit.
Hypocrite.
Ah, hypocrite. We're not in. Yeah, I am. We're not in your country. Hey, don't come close to me, huh? Don't come close to me, man. We're in Italy. We're in Europe. We are not in Africa. Get away from me. Get up. Yeah. And what? And what? And what? And what? What will you do? Fuck me. Come, try. Look, now he's gonna spray us with water. Come try. Come try. Come try. Come try. Come try. I'll smash you, huh? Fuck off.
Bite me.
Yeah, fuck off.
I need you to
get out of my space. Yeah?
I will put this.
Okay, here we go. We are stopping this right now. Do you know how vile that was?
I used to want to go to Italy. I learned Italian for a whole summer.
Originali dei soli, glasses of the sun.
Dove il bagno? Where is
That's
the
your
bagno?
waiter.
Yeah.
Dove il bagno?
Ultra burro.
More butter, please. We learned the most important phrases.
Envision
Aiuto, polizia.
The most beautiful places in the world, and they have turned it into a trash bin. And
I'm gonna tell you what happened. I read The Merchant of Venice, Shakespeare.
So I want to tell the story while you play this little these videos, because this is why I wanted to go. I saved this for you guys as a kind of like a commercial break. But while you tell the story, these are the coastlines of Italy, region by region.
Here?
Yeah, tell your story, and we'll just play these videos.
But I read The Merchant of Venice, and
that's what we expected.
And when I was being homeschooled, I began to research. And I was so enchanted by an idea of a floating city and the canals and the whole 9 yards. And so I wanted to go, and I wanted to visit Italy, and I wanted to see the vineyards, and it just sounded so romantic that it became an obsession. Like I was going to go. Like it was 100% going to happen. It didn't end up happening. But I think we even got passports or something for it, didn't we? We were going to.
I want to travel on the violin.
There's a violin
boat
gondola.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So it just kind of became like, so when I think of Italy and when I think of Venice, there's a little bit of it's personal. It feels more personal than, it's kind of like, my Jeep Wrangler. If you think about Jeep Wrangler, it's going to feel personal because, like, even though I've never been, but it was like my thing for like the longest time. And now to see it, like, I don't want to go. I have no desire to go now, like zero desire. I have an anti-desire to go.
Lombardy.
Yeah, don't want to go. We literally, because of my passion to want to go to Italy, Leah said, Michelle, let's learn Italian. So she went to the library and she got the books and the tapes, and we tried to learn some Italian. She tried to teach it to me, and we only learned a little bit.
And that's what they've done to it. They're just trying to ruin it.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's demonic.
It is.
Oh, we weren't even screen sharing.
No. You didn't screen share any of that?
I don't know. We have to rewind. Well, we were talking about it, but did you close the other one?
You just scroll up.
Oh, okay. We can see that. That's beautiful. Oh my gosh.
There's
Scroll
captions.
back up. Thank you, guys.
This is Piedmont. It was a whole thread.
Were we not screen sharing with the guy, the Kurt guy?
Oh, shoot.
Well, they heard it.
Oh, wow. Then they didn't see it? They didn't see it?
I don't know.
We have to go back and show them?
And I hope not.
This is... Tell me if you guys didn't see the
Kirk one.
This is Lombardy.
The guy that was the white guy that was
this
going
is
in
Sicily.
And showing us
it's like this
videos.
whole thread was on all of the this is Tuscany, all of the we said here's the violin.
We saw the guy. Okay, thank you, Donna. It's just not the coastline. Okay.
So here I just was like this is what I'd hoped to go see. Right there. That's what I wanted to see. All right. So main story tonight, one of the main stories. Let's go to the UK. Michelle, there's a big giant music festival, Alanis Morissette's there, all kinds of people in the UK. There was a performance by this really radical
joining us now live from
guy who chanted the death to the IDF, and it's this violent hatred.
We'll play the clip.
And I'm just getting it queued up.
Slater. Tom, thanks for joining us. I want to start with the fallout from the Glastonbury Music Festival. Obviously, that's all over the news in the UK after Death to the IDF was chanted by artist Bob Vylan. Just to remind viewers, here's what happened at the festival, and keep in mind, this was broadcast live by the BBC.
Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Aye, but have you heard this one, though? Death, death to the IDF! 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 Death, death to the IDF!
So, Tom, just fill us in on the reaction in the UK, because I think the government have come out very upset about this. The BBC are in all sorts of trouble. And that's before we get to the artist in question. Just give us the latest on this.
No, there is wall-to-wall outrage and concern about this, rightly so. If you've got people chanting slogans like that to a packed audience of people at Glastonbury Festival, it does evoke some of the worst moments in human history, shall we say. The way in which this kind of anti-Israel bigotry has become so mainstream, so accepted. And Glastonbury, as you exactly rightly say, it's something like Wimbledon is broadcast across the BBC every single year. This is a kind of key cultural moment. And yet you've essentially got the BBC giving a platform to a form of woke anti-Israel bigotry, which is bordering on the deranged. So I can't imagine what it must be like for British Jews in this country at the moment, who can turn on their televisions watching Glastonbury of a Saturday afternoon and see people chanting to murder people who are defending the Jewish state from its Islamist enemies. It's absolutely sickening, but I can't say I'm anything more than shocked, but not surprised by where we've ended up with this.
And Tom, what does it say more broadly about the cultural issues now we've got in our society? I mean, whatever happened to going to a music festival just to enjoy the music? And bear in mind, this is supposed to be the so-called tolerant left who attends these sorts of festivals. But more broadly, what does it say?
I think it says that a lot of the kind of cultural elites, a lot of what passes for supposedly countercultural pop music and so on these days has just become completely lost to this new form of bigotry and intolerance. I don't think there's any two ways to say about that. People say, oh, he was chanting about the IDF. This is a trick that Hamas use, incidentally. They say that all civilians pretty much are fair game, but because of national service, therefore they're military targets. So we've got to recognise the scale of what we're dealing with here. And one of the things that I find...
Stop and point that out, what he meant by that. I think most people know this, but just in case you don't, you are all, everyone, male and female in Israel has to serve in the military. Okay, they're just conscripted. So then what he's saying is, what Hamas then says is, well, civilians are totally fine, but the problem is that they don't count anyone as a civilian because every single Israeli has had to serve in the military at some point. So now they're all able to be targets.
That's really good. Let's play a little bit here from Nana Akua here as she reacts to this.
Now, yesterday, we were treated to an utter disgrace of a performance in Glastonbury by a person who until now, I'd actually never heard of, Bob Vylan, who thought it was OK to incite violence, which I thought was against the law, on stage, broadcast to some 20 million people on the BBC.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I just need to interrupt real quick. Thank you for pointing that out, Nana, because do you know how many people in the UK are arrested because of tweets that may kind of make someone upset? But here, this guy, if this guy does not get arrested in the UK, I'm done. I don't know what that means. I don't know what I'm done with, but I'm done. Okay.
I know.
Free, free. All right, we've heard that. We're going to skip it.
Set on fire. You could argue that Bob Vylan, what he has done is the same but far worse. A, because inciting death to the IDF could be seen as anti-Semitic, which is pretty much racism. And B, because chanting for the death of people, which the IDF is made up of, is incitement to violence. So what's the difference? And it's completely unhelpful when ministers come up with this. We're streeting on Sky News earlier.
I'd also say to the Israeli embassy, get your own house in order in terms of the conduct of your own citizens and the settlers in the West Bank. So, you know, I think there's a serious point there by the Israeli embassy I take seriously. I wish they'd take the violence of their own citizens towards Palestinians more seriously.
referring to the fact that Israeli settlers went and attacked and killed 3 people. We don't know why in the West Bank. That is obviously, if they were innocent civilians, that's wrong. Israeli settlers attacked Christian village in West Bank, leaving 3 dead. Israeli soldiers attacked homes, settlers, not soldiers, attacked homes and lit a fire at the eastern entrance of the Christian West Bank village of Taiba on June 26 as a rampage through the neighboring village of Kafir Malik. The rampage resulted in the deaths of 3 people from Kafir Malik, the Palestinian Health Ministry said, and the burning of several homes. This is a tit for tat going back and forth. So while the Free Palestine is evil, I want to play over here the fact that the Israeli first agenda in America is not the right agenda either.
First casualty of war is the truth. And that's what we've tried to be here. And here's the beauty of it. Everything we've said on this show from the very beginning about this has been 100% dead spot on. Dead spot on. And the Israel First crowd has lost the argument of what they wanted because this was a decapitation strike to try to do regime change. The Bolton crowd, Tel Aviv, Levin, Hannity, the whole Fox News Murdochs, they didn't get what they wanted. Now they're plotting behind the scenes and they're trying to figure it out. And with Netanyahu in this crowd, I've had to get it revved up again, but it ain't going to get revved up again because now they understand they have an information warfare opponent that's just not going to roll over. And if you call us a bunch of names, it just goes, we don't care. Call us anything you want to call us. We're fighting for our country, and we're fighting for our countrymen, and that comes first. And then that comes first, and the obligation, not just future generations, we owe every patriot and every patriot grave in Section 60 in Arlington National Cemetery. Do you think we go over there for the Memorial Day and have all the specials of Patrick K. O'Donnell because it's just one day? No, it's a living and breathing thing, that memory. And we will never back off this because we owe them. We owe them. We own those patriots that gave everything. Okay, gave everything.
So I say this because the radical left, the free, are we unmuted?
We're unmuted.
Okay, the radical left, the Free Palestine people, the deaf to the IDF people, that's not God. That's not right. That's horrible. But then Netanyahu over here wants to visit the White House to celebrate the Iran strikes with Trump. Israeli officials say that Netanyahu wants to celebrate the joint bombing campaign with Trump. Thunder? I think it was a dog on the floor. As the Israeli leader is declaring the war of victory, although Israel got hit hard by Iranian missiles. The report comes after Trump called for the corruption charges against Netanyahu to be dropped. They're still ongoing, which an Israeli official claimed is part of a strategy to bring an end to the war in Gaza. According to the report by the Israeli Hayom, Trump and Netanyahu have reached an understanding on terms for a potential deal that would end Israel's onslaught in Gaza and involve other moves in the region, but many of the terms are likely unacceptable to Hamas. The terms include Gaza hostilities will conclude within 2 weeks. Ending conditions will encompass 4 Arab nations, including Egypt and the United Arab Emirates, to administer the Gaza Strip, replacing Hamas. The remaining Hamas leadership will face exile in other countries while the hostages gain freedom. Multiple nations globally will accept numerous Gaza inhabitants seeking immigration. Abraham Accords expansion will bring Syria, Saudi Arabia, and additional Arab and Muslim countries to recognize Israel and establish official relationships. Israel will declare its willingness for future Palestinian conflict resolution under the 2 states concept. Its willingness. We're gonna maybe look at it. And the United States will acknowledge the limited Israeli annexation in the West Bank. Trump's Middle East envoy said in an interview on Wednesday that the U.S. may soon announce Arab countries that are willing to join the Abraham Accords, which netted Jared Kushner $1.8 billion. 1.8 billion, 2,000 trillion in investments. That was great on his behalf. So while we are not Israeli first, we're not Palestine first, and the fact that Trump is working so hard with the Israeli government right now is disconcerting to me because the people of America must come first. You have to put your own oxygen mask on first, and I do not believe that Donald Trump is doing that right now with the Israel conflict in Iran and with being so close to Netanyahu. Now, I do want to show you this. Hundreds of women hold up their babies in the air to show they're willing to offer them up as martyrs in Tehran. This is CNN's Frederick Pletigen witnessed the ceremony. This is Iran.
Martyrdom is a hugely important concept here in the Islamic Republic of Iran. We're currently at an event where hundreds of women hold their babies into the air to show that they're willing to offer their children as martyrs for God and for Imam Hussein. All of that goes back to the legendary Battle of Karbala, where Imam Hussein held his baby into the air, asking the enemy that was besieging Karbala to give the baby water, and instead the enemy killed the baby. Now, there's nothing more glorious here than dying as a martyr. And of course, right now, that concept takes on an even more important meaning as Iran is involved in this massive struggle with Israel and the United States.
We want to show them we are not scared of anything, she says, and will support our state until they are destroyed. And she says they need to know that Imam Hussein is our everything and we should sacrifice our lives for Imam Hussein. This is a symbol saluting Imam Hussein, she says, who's the leader of all the oppressed who stand against oppressors and don't submit.
And just to show how big this is in Iran right now, the crowd here was chanting "Death to America, Death to Israel," and there was even a children's choir that was singing songs as videos were shown of Iran's missile program in action against Israel, and of course also when the Trump administration carried out those strikes against Iranian nuclear installations. In total, right now, as this conflict is taking place, all of this extremely important to the folks here. Fred,
Oh my gosh, now that is a woman. Whoa. This is just evil and weird and beyond the pale. So this is what we're up against, and I can see it's so, Trump is using this. Is she not upstairs? Hang on.
I'm a Palestinian.
Hang on, guys.
From 21 until 48, I carried a Palestinian passport. There was no such thing in this area as Jews and Arabs and Palestinians. There were Jews and Arabs. I'm a Palestinian. From 21 until 40.
When they kill the IDF chants.
No.
I don't think we need to watch the footage again. We've shown it a lot on breakfast, but this is a band called Bob Vylan who have been shouting "kill the IDF," and I suppose the controversy really is twofold. First of all, why has such hatred been normalised in the UK? And second of all, why didn't the BBC cut that live stream?
Yeah, and also why did the Evis family at Glastonbury put them on? The answer to that, I'm afraid, is cynical.
So I was playing a video real
because
quick.
Glastonbury's...
I was playing a video real quick because I was like, oh my gosh, Michelle was like making me panic.
We have 5 dogs here. You got to keep track of all 5 of them.
And
she's literally sitting underneath my chair. She's black. It's hard to find her. It just scared me.
Got it. Right there. She didn't even move because
she never leaves our side. That's the thing. Like that, I was like, what? I went outside, and yes, it was thunder. By the way, you weren't even screen sharing.
I was.
No, you weren't.
Okay, great. Sorry. We were having a moment, guys. Sorry. We're back now. Everything's fine now. Everything is.
Glenda, please share the screen.
Okay.
My goodness.
So I'm going to switch news stories here because Ireland is rising and against the radical Islamic invasions. And there is this group, screen sharing here. Sharing these videos out. So this was Ireland marching against basically the Islamic invasion. The Irish flags, Ireland for the Irish. And I'm going to show you a couple disturbing videos. Well, this isn't as disturbing. So this is Ireland, where your tax money is going to pay for Afghan asylum seekers.
Can't see the video.
Hang on, reading the thing. Based on a quarter payments, the owner's location will clear $1 million. So they are putting this video out themselves to let people know, look at this. All these asylum seekers are living in hotels with all this food. They're getting fat, living in Ireland with all this food. And the government of Ireland is paying for it. An Afghan, oh jeez, it's bad. It's bad. So a migrant brutally attacks and robs an innocent Irish girl. Oh
my gosh.
So there's an Irish nationalist movement. It's the Irish Nationalist Party that's wanting to fight back. Now you have to remember, the Irish fight. They like fight, right? They fight with the government fight.
I'm the leader of Shield na HÉireann, Ireland's fastest growing Christian nationalist movement in the whole island of Ireland, and we need you to join our movement now by scrolling down below this video, clicking the link and joining now, or clicking the link in the bio. You can join from anywhere in the world, Ireland, UK, Canada, America, Australia, New Zealand, no matter where you're from, join now. We are spearheading the fight back against the mass immigration invasion. What do you get as a member? You get this beautiful badge, the framed proclamation, this beautiful Irish tricolour flag, this Who We Are booklet, and much more. Scroll down below this video now, join as a member, help us in the fight back against the mass immigration invasion. God bless you, and God save Ireland.
That's good. God save Ireland. It's fine. They're fine.
So this is a migrant father restrains a white child and signals the migrants to brutally attack the child. And you can...
I'll mute us while Leah plays
it. You see? Muhtarem! Jasima! Muhtarem! You see? You see? No more time for these kids. I promise.
My name is Niall McConnell. I'm the leader of Shield na HÉireann, Ireland's fastest...
So he's going to do the same thing. So they just keep playing these videos of like these terrible attacks that keep happening in Ireland.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, and while we're here, you might as well...
We're still screen sharing.
Okay. This is Norway. So that is Norway. Norway has been completely overtaken.
We kind of suspected that, but yeah.
And here is Nigel Farage talking about there will be no more asylum hotels when he's in charge.
And here before you in 1 year's time, going to make big savings. We will stand here before you in 1 year's time and show you the excessive costs that we've taken out of local government. And at a national level, if we win the next election, we will scrap net zero, something that is costing the Exchequer an extraordinary £40 billion plus every year. There will be no more asylum hotels or houses of multiple occupancy. People who come here illegally across the channel or on the back of lorries will not be allowed to stay. We will scrap the DEI agenda, which is costing the taxpayer up to £7 billion a year throughout the public sector. And yes, we see considerable savings to be made amongst the quangos. So yes, I do accept that these proposals, especially the one of lifting to £20,000 the level at which people start paying tax, I accept that it's expensive, but I genuinely believe that we can pay for it because we're not ideologically tied to the same ideas upon which we believe the Conservative and Labour governments have gone so wrong over the course of the last few years. Going to make.
So will Nigel Farage be your next prime minister? And this was an interesting clip about Nigel here from this black UK citizen.
I think he's the best thing that's happened to Britain since Enoch Powell. Enoch had a point, although it was morally immoral. But he's proved his point, because Britain's a shithole. Yeah, but the thing is, you know, look, this is how it is. We've got black and white people here. We have different cultures, but we've got a lot. You know, I'm 64 years old. I've got white mates, black mates, but we're people. We've got another set of people coming. We don't know the fuck now. They don't eat like us, talk like us, walk like us, like shit like us. There's something else. And the way to control a society is to favour another society within the society, which then causes the animosity. And this is what's going on. It's just animosity. You can't have someone come in your house and start cooking a different way, washing clothes a different way, sleeping a different way. I mean, this is ridiculous. You know, I can't come to your house. Imagine you come into your house and I want to cook curry goat and rice and fucking rice and peas and chicken. You're going, well, what's going on? Where's the bacon and eggs and the shepherd's pie? I'm really working hard here, you know.
So, you know, it's interesting. He had said Nigel Farage is the best thing to happen to Britain. Britain's in Enoch Powell, and Enoch Powell is considered a racist. I know some of you guys appreciate his sentiments of what would happen with mass migration. But you'll notice that there is a certain group of immigrants, not immigrants, I don't know how to, the new wave of young, because they're not coming in as children and they're coming in as grown adults and they're not coming in to assimilate and to be part of the culture. I would say that the population, when I hear a lot of black people in the UK, and there's a lot of them on the news and that man there, they're very intelligent, they're highly articulate, and I'm going to make some presumptions, and I'm just going to call it like it is. The UK has a vastly better education system than the United States. They don't allow children to fall behind, no matter the race or the color. They have traditionally, from what I've seen, smaller schools, more personal schools. The teachers are definitely more like a kind of, from what I understand, like when I hear British people speak, your vocabulary is bigger than mine. Even that guy, you can just hear, he has a set of words, he has a set of intelligence that is beyond American education.
Yeah.
And it's not just the accent.
That's good.
When I hear these GB News presenters, a lot of them very young, they have a vocabulary. They're able to articulate thoughts at a higher level than the people here in America. And it goes to show for me that the UK, you wanted to be open, you wanted to be welcoming, and you were to the majority of people who came before. And whether they came from India or whether they came from Africa, you educated them, you gave them intelligence, and they became assimilated, they became British.
Yeah.
They sound like you, they talk like you, they eat like you, they're part of you.
They eat shepherd's pie.
And then there are these other people, and they're not intelligent. They are low-grade human beings. This is not a racist statement.
Obviously, it's not the color of your skin.
There are low-grade humans. And there are people who lack education and lack opportunity, but if given that, will become a high-grade human being. And the UK has done that well up until the certain point, and these people don't want to be here or there. Where I be here, be there. I think
we take ownership of the UK.
We do. We do.
In all of the nations that we cover, I think a little bit.
So I have a couple more clips and we're going to sign off for today. And I want to play, we're going to go to, I think I'm going to Canada for now. Am I going to Canada? Yeah, we're going to go to Canada. So we're going to Canada now. This is a Muslim woman. Again, you are in the wrong country, lady. At a pro-Palestinian rally in Canada.
And Canada is a white supremacist, colonial, racist project, as is Israel, as is the state of Israel. So I don't even consider myself to be a Canadian because this is indigenous land and this land is occupied. So the people
Where do you want to go home
are
to,
here,
then?
whether they are settlers, we firstly need to educate ourselves about what has happened on this land and what is continuously happening in order for us to be able to understand what our government or this government is doing on abroad and on overseas. And Canada.
So why do you still
can
live
go,
there?
You can leave. Go back to, you know what? I'm sure Iran will have you. Saudi Arabia will have you. Palestine, maybe they'll have you. You people are insane. You people are insane. It's but you know what? It is the education system. It is the education system, and it is creating these radical lefties. Now, speaking of Canada, trade deal went south. Trump says, we have just been informed that Canada, a very difficult country to trade with, over to the right, including the fact that they have charged our farmers as much as 400% tariffs for years on dairy products, has just announced that they are putting a digital services tax on our American technology companies, which is a direct and blatant attack on our country. They are obviously copying the European Union, which has done the same thing and is currently under discussion with us also. Based on this egregious tax, we are hereby terminating all discussions on trade with Canada, effective immediately. We will let Canada know the tariff that they will be paying to do business with the United States. Now, you have to understand, the tariff on dairy in Canada is to keep American dairy out. It's not to get money from American dairy. Canadians are trying to be protectionist and protect their dairy farmers, which they should. And this is the thing about trade. If you can do it in your country, it should not be bussed in, flown in, driven in, mailed in from another country.
That's good.
Especially cows and milk, which, you know, has a shelf life, okay? Canadian dairy and cheese needs to stay Canadian dairy and cheese. So this is what I don't understand. And I guess, I don't know.
First of all, every nation can have their own dairy and cheese.
They all can. Well, except for you over there in the Middle East, who you need some rain.
They can have goats.
They can, yeah. It's expensive to live in Canada. Asking rent prices in Montreal have jumped 70% since 2019. The average asking price for a rental unit in Montreal is increasing nearly 71% between 2019 and the first quarter this year. The average asking rent for a two-bedroom in Montreal was $1,100 in 2019 and increased to about $2,000 in the first quarter of 2025. Montreal ranked 17th highest for average asking prices for a two-bedroom apartment among the 40 metropolitan areas in Canada. Because prospective renters typically face higher rents compared with long-term tenants, whose rates reflected past leases and can also be subject to rent control regulations, asking rents offer a picture of current market trends. Vancouver ranks second, and the apartment in Toronto will cost you $2,500. Would have cost you $2,500 in 2019, and it grew a little bit, but it's $2,600. I wanted to just call this out because most people that I'm talking to, even today in America, everything changed in 2020 around the world. Everything got more expensive. And that's why we call out Trump. That's why we call out his policies, because they are living high on the pie. They are making deals. They are making money off of you. They're making money off of everything right and left. He made $1.38 million for the Lee Greenwald Bibles, and he sold Trump guitars, and he's making money. His kids are making money. The globalists are making money. Everybody's making money hand over fist while they are systematically siphoning the economy around the world. Now, speaking of censorship and hate speech, German police raid 170 homes over hate speech laws. On Wednesday morning at 6 a.m., a large-scale police operation was launched across Germany, targeting hundreds of individuals suspected of insulting politicians or spreading hate speech or incitement online. The massive crackdown saw police launch morning raids against 170 individuals and saw police seize computers, cell phones, tablets, and conduct searches in multiple locations across the country. It says, I'm trying to decide what actually it is that they said. In one case, someone criticized a CDU leader as drunken.
Wow.
A drunken person. There's details of Germany now routinely has these days of action against citizens who commit violations against new and more draconian speech laws in Germany. In some cases, a national scandal has erupted when the details of the cases become public, such as a case of a retired person, Stephen Nyhoff, having his house raided after calling former economic minister an idiot.
So the CDU Interior Minister Raoul said that there needs to be a clear distinction between opinion and hate speech. What you don't do in the real world isn't appropriate digitally either. It's time for more attitude, both online and offline. What does that even
However,
mean?
the Federal Interior Ministry made a similar argument last year while conducting raids against multiple homes of the Compact magazine journalists.
See, this is so ridiculous.
Last year, there were 10,732 cases, a quadruple the number of 2021. An example of this type of raids going on last year, a 14-year-old German boy had his house raided for posting a banned hashtag on TikTok, which translated into everything for Germany.
Mm.
This is England has fallen. Birmingham, UK, 90,000 Muslims attended the Eid prayer. I don't even want to play the music. You can stop it. Guys? Guys? Guys?
Wow.
Something's not right here.
Gosh. Wow, it's crazy.
There is over here an Instagram of that I believe Barry sent me of the UK uniting and walking together in peace. Nigel Farage has said that there are 53,000 Albanian citizens in the UK, and 1,000 are in our prisons. That's 1 in 48 Albanians in the UK are in prison.
Wow.
That's a high number of people coming over. And then how many people are not actually being caught for what they've done, right? Would anyone like to see a sleeping sea turtle as we finish up our show?
Okay.
Yeah, because this is what life is about. I just love animal videos, and this sea turtle sleeping. Michelle, I'm going to give my final thoughts on the Iranian women offering up their children to be martyrs as they're covered in hijab.
You didn't actually show that video.
I did. You weren't here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. To the Hungarian Viktor Orbán. There's a right way and a wrong way to do morality. And the wrong way is the Islam way, where you force it through violence, through hatred, because you say that everything about a woman is just sexual, and you make it all about the woman, and she has to cover because men can't control themselves. In Hungary, they're Christian. They believe in self-control. They believe in self-respect. They believe that men should protect women, and women should be honored, and women should be loved. But we still ban LGBTQ Pride parades because that is putting sexuality in the front of children. That is some thunder.
I know.
There is a right way and a wrong way to do what I would call, there's censorship. You censor evil. You stop evil. You stop crimes. It's a crime to sexualize a child.
Amen.
It's a crime. It's wrong. It's evil. It's immoral. And I thank God for men like Viktor Orbán. I thank God for people like Bukele in El Salvador. And I do pray that we can rise up more people who will begin to see the difference between right and wrong and good and evil. And, you know, the chants with the down to the IDF, this is these two violent. If you're watching a bear eat a lion, you don't get in between the two. Or a lion they're probably not going to do that. I don't think there's bears where there's lions. So maybe the zoo, you know, had some animals get loose. So let's do, who are two competing animals, and you just don't get in the midst of it. Okay. This right here with Israel, you don't get to chant death to the IDF, and it is the violence and the hatred. At the same time, Israel is using the Christian right. This goes to the Revelation Red Pill, because of the Christian right did not have this fantasy that Jesus, the Messiah, is coming any day soon. So we have to support Israel. And yay, we have to support Israel, but at the same time, the whole world is going to hate Israel and go to war with Israel. And it's going to be this great time, but it's going to be an awful time. And we're so excited because it means Jesus is coming back, but it's going to be some bad things. But it's all just this amalgamation of this. The Christian right is the only thing holding up the facade that is another country lobbying America, asking Americans to put their needs aside for their needs. That is wrong. Thomas Massey is right. Israel should not have a lobbyist for every congressman. And you know why? It's not fair. Does Nigeria have a lobbyist? Because Nigerian Christians are literally being beheaded, but Netanyahu doesn't care about Christians in Nigeria having their heads chopped off, because rightfully so, Israel is Israel first. Regardless of anything, Israel shows the way. Israel is Israel first. And I will trample, walk on, do anything around anybody else. I'll make the deals. I'll do the things, anything that advances and keeps my country safe. And I do not fault Israel for doing that. I don't even think they're bad guys for doing that. I think that we are, the Christian right is pushovers and people are being paid.
Well, I would disagree with you. I think that they are bad guys for having a handler for every person in Congress. I think that makes them bad people.
That does. I think it does. But at the same time, Israel putting Israel first. And here's the thing. There's bad guys for all kinds of reasons, okay? What I meant by they're not bad guys for Israel putting Israel first.
Right, exactly.
Nigeria should put Nigeria first. South America should put South America first.
Donald Trump
citizens
used to say all this.
But now we are not putting America first. This whole idea of Netanyahu coming over here, getting us involved in their skirmish, their war, our missiles, our things. You know, did they say that Israel paid for those missiles or whatever that we bombed, those great big beautiful bombs? Or did we just let them, you know, there's no borrowing them. You don't get it back. And you know what? You know who wins in all of this? The military industrial complex. So that's my final thought.
So my final thoughts on, I guess, what stands out to me the most, and this has been, you're going to hear this consistently on this program from me, and whenever I get an opportunity to talk, because it's become so, I don't know, I just feel like it's the anointing that God is, this is my calling. It's been this way for years. And I know that we're supposed to lead by example, which is all I can do, but you guys don't necessarily see our inner life. So I have to be able to speak it out, and that is this. We have to be able to call out evil when we see it, but we also have to be able to hold ourselves to a standard of holiness and righteousness and morality that will allow us to actually take that evil down. Mm-hmm. So what we see right now is we see a lot of people on the right who see a lot of evil, and they are so willing to call it out. And they're like, yeah, that's evil. That's bad. Maybe you want to call it the Zionists. Maybe you want to call it this. You want to call it that. And you're so righteous in calling out that evil. But Michelle, don't dare touch sex outside of marriage. Don't you dare touch, you know, the greed of like a Donald Trump. Don't you dare touch any kind of immorality that may affect me or my life. You know, I was having a conversation with a viewer / neighbor / client yesterday. And I guess there's this show called The Outlanders or whatever. It's speaking of the Scandinavians, you know, whatever. And she was watching it, and then there was this kind of homosexual storyline that got woven through it. And she said that she asked a Christian friend of hers, she's like, does this continue, or does this like a one-off thing? And her friend was like, no, it continues. And then she's like, well, why are you watching this? And I remember having a conversation with the person that shall not be named yet about what's the show that we always call out for pornography?
Game of Thrones.
The Game of Thrones. And I was saying how pornographic it was. And he was super defending. He's like, no, it's not. It's not perverse at all. Like, you're just being a prude. Like, there's nothing in there. I've seen like every episode.
No.
Yes. I've seen like every episode of that. And there's nothing wrong with it. And you're just being like all like wound up tight. And I'm thinking to myself, like, am I being wound up tight?
I didn't get to be a part of this conversation.
Well, I was just thinking about it yesterday. And so I really wanted to start watching Downton Abbey when it came out. Everybody was so excited about it. All my Christian friends were watching it, and I tried to watch it, and then it got sexual. So I was like, okay, kind of like our friend, like, oh, maybe this is one off, and I'll just try to keep watching it. And I couldn't because the show had made a stance.
They had made a stance, and they had a gay scene.
We're going to now have homosexuality and perversion in this, you know, what would essentially have been like a Jane Austen type
family show.
I'm so sorry if the Resistance chicks, if you guys want to count us as prudes, okay? I would say according to God, our prudishness is disgusting and vile and like the worst of debauchery. It's not like compared to how God would view how holy he would have us be. Okay. And yet to compare to so many out there with me calling out like Game of Thrones or Outlander or whatever this new show is, or Downton Abbey, or Donald Trump saying the F-bomb, or marrying a woman that's, I don't know how many years younger than him, and him being okay with abortion and like all these things. Like, I'm sorry if that makes you feel like I'm taking holiness too far. I don't take it far enough. I can guarantee you that I don't take it far enough. But I hate what God hates, or at least I try to. And unfortunately, we live in a modern church that says we don't actually have to hate what God hates. And this is what goes back to the post that I made about tearing down the high places. And so what's on my heart right now, Leah, is the same thing that's on my heart every single week. It's the same thing that's on my heart every single day. If my people, you call out the scripture, who are called by my name, will humble themselves and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and heal their land. I'm going to tell you something that happened because I lived it and I'm old enough to remember it. 9/11, 2001. The entire nation humbled themselves, turned from their wicked ways, and started to seek God. That lasted for about 6 months. After 2020, the entire nation turned from their wicked ways, humbled themselves, and started to seek God. That lasted for about 6 months. You have to keep with it. It's not a temporary thing. It's a life change. And that goes to salvation. If you're saved, you have turned. That means you don't go back to it. You don't keep going back to it. And Lot's wife is one of the greatest examples. Because we have a church of people that are going to turn into a pillar of salt. And these things ought not be. Sherry says they call people names because they don't want their sin called out. Well said. So I guess like I look at all these things, like essentially our main story today was Hungary banning the LGBTQ Pride Parade. We ought to be able to do that. I want to live in a nation where pride parades are banned.
Yeah, I do too.
And I will. I truly believe that. That's what I'm fighting for. That's what I do this show for. That's what I sacrifice so much for. And I know that all of you guys make sacrifices. Just because you don't have a podcast doesn't mean that you're not making sacrifices for holiness and righteousness. This isn't a toot my own horn, but I will toot the horn of anyone out there that is willing to go against the stream and to say the thing. I get it. Like, I think about it all the time. This person that sent us this message, Clementine, Brenda, and Steve, I think. getting upset at me because they think I'm bashing Trump. No, I am bashing unholiness, though. And I will bash unrighteousness all day long. And I truly believe that when we do this, this is how we're going to get our country back. So the encouraging word is this. There is a remnant, and there are people that want holiness, and they want righteousness, and they want to be a people set apart. And I don't think that our country is lost cause. I don't think so at all. And so as we approach the week, the dawn of the week of our 250th anniversary right here in America, leading to January 4th, 2025, we're headed into this, 200, the next year, I guess, is the actual 250th anniversary. But this is where Donald Trump wanted to kick off this next, you know what I mean? The 250th year. So we're headed into that 250th year. It won't really culminate until July 4th of next year. But this is, this is the year where we should be starting to celebrate those things and to celebrate the founding of our nation. And I'm very excited about it. And as we go into that, I want you guys to be excited that we are going to get our nation back. Not by hook or by crook, but by the power of God. We are going to get our nation back. So, I guess, Barry, I probably could end with your song, but before I end, I have a couple of announcements to make. So please don't go anywhere because these are fun and important announcements. Leah Jim says that the cordage around your head, for those of you that missed the start of the show, Leah made this today herself. She's wearing her little, you look like Xenia Warrior Princess. He says it makes you look like a Native American. I think it makes you look really cool. I think we should wear more things like that, like more often. I think it's super fun.
I made rope.
But speaking of anniversaries, this is not a date anniversary, but it is an episode anniversary. I guess, I don't think that you can't even say anniversary at this point, but it's a milestone episode.
Interestingly enough, right before the 4th of July.
Right before the 4th of July, we are going to hit our 100th episode of Revelation Red Pill. And so I do have the diplomas. They will be up on shop.resistancechicks.com this week in time for Wednesday. And I'll explain to you guys which ones you're going to want to get depending on who qualifies. If I'm giving out a lot of 100 episodes diplomas, that will really be something. I'm gonna guess most of you will be at the 50 episode mark, but I'm really excited about this because the Revelation Red Pill is a series that we started to talk about the kingdom of God advancing and to showcase why we should be believing that instead of we're waiting for the world to get worse and worse and worse so that Jesus can come back and rescue us. And I got a message today from a friend that I'm going to answer later. And he was kind of asking, what he watched episode 99 and he was like, what are your beliefs on these key points? And I think that it would be good when we hit episode 101 to maybe go over some of those key points. Okay, so I've only just started tuning in. This is my example. I've only just started tuning in. What are you actually saying here? So maybe going over some of that would be good. And we could also do that this Wednesday. But I think I can now officially announce my little surprise for this Wednesday. We are going to have Corey Gray back on the show for our 100th episode, and we're very excited about that. I know you guys have missed him and missed having him on our program, so we just got that confirmed today that Corey is going to be coming on the program for our 100th episode.
Been living in the United States. He just recently moved back to where does he live? Nicaragua, and he said he'll be back in the city on Tuesday so we can have internet.
Yeah, so we will have Corey. Well, he had internet when he was in Nicaragua before.
No, what he means that he has a bug out like place. It doesn't have internet.
Okay. So he's in Nicaragua, but he'll be into the city.
He doesn't have like
Tuesday.
a good streaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sherry says a recap would be great. So I'm looking forward to this Wednesday. So if you know people that used to tune into Revelation Red Pill and they haven't in a while, please have them come and join us for our 100th celebration. It's going to be a fun night and we're going to have Corey back and we're going to have a good time and we're going to be maybe going over some of the things. Maybe you guys can come with some questions. I think that would be really fun. To go over some of those types of questions that I was asked in my message from our friends. So definitely I'm looking forward to this Wednesday and being able to launch the...
So we've got a sale going.
The diploma. So speaking of shop.resistancechicks.com, we do have a sale going and we're going to be doing 10% for the 4th of July. Promo code is
1776.
1776. It's going to go now through what we decided is from now on when we do sales so that we can announce them enough on our shows. It's going to go through the time that we start the sale through the Thursday after that holiday. And so that's what we're doing. So the Thursday after the 4th of July, because the 4th of July is on a Friday, will be the 10th. So the sale will go from right now through the 10th, 10% off. Leah, could you do me a favor and step to the side and grab one of the tallows?
Yeah.
Because I was asked this question by the same friend, saying that his wife uses a tallow on, it's just in there somewhere underneath that second shelf with the oils. Yeah. Lift that up and just grab one of the tallows. Was saying that his wife uses it for their feet. And this isn't the tallow one, but that's okay. This will work. This is the Homestead Hands Face and Body Butter. I have to tell you that I use this obviously multiple times a day, throughout the day. I use it for my face when I get out of the shower. I use it on my whole body. But I did just so happen to yesterday, I was kind of taking note. I was like, I really do love using this on my feet. Every time I get out of the shower, I put this on my feet. And so he was asking, do you have something that is a tallow that goes on your feet? 100%. I use this on my feet and I love it. Why is putting this kind of thing on your feet important? I don't believe in Eastern medicine from a spiritual standpoint, but I do know that God put a lot of open points on the bottom of your feet to receive things. There's these pressure points. I'm not doing Eastern medicine. It's just there. I can't deny it. And so I think that there are a lot of receptors open on your feet for the amazing essential oils that are in this oil. And so I thought that would be, we haven't talked about that ever before, is using this on your feet. So I wanted to kind of showcase that. And I'm going to send him a message back saying, yes, that he and his wife can certainly use the tallow version for a tallow for their feet. So I have to tell you that I have not been using the beard oil on my face every day because I haven't, this isn't really shaken up very well. It needs to be shaken up a lot more. I stole it for using it for Uncle Jack. And I put it in his room.
We put on his psoriasis on his beard.
And I've been putting it on the psoriasis. And so I miss having it in the bathroom myself. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to use this.
So Christine Cantrell, she's been taking it and using it on her hair, on the ends of her hair.
Make sure you shake everything well, because everything has a different viscosity. That one wasn't shaking very well. And you can see I just gave myself a self-tan from the different dark oils that were in there. But
I have been doing the same thing. If you have long hair, they tell you just to kind of put conditioner from here down.
Shake.
So we both
very
have been
well
kind of
before
putting,
you use these things, especially if they've been sitting
Christine
there.
has Taylor with the 10 kids. She has super uber long hair. So I have been.
Hang on, Christine Cantrell.
Taylor has a lot of kids.
There is a Christine Taylor too.
So Christine Cantrell with the 10 kids. Sorry. She's like, my dad loves it. He's been putting it on his beard. It makes it feel amazing. And I've been putting it on the tips of my hair. And I've done that a few times myself. And
you need a haircut too.
I do need a haircut, but I've been doing that as well myself.
So Uncle Jack has psoriasis very bad on his face.
Yeah.
And I know that, in all honesty, the Homestead Hands would probably take care of it if I stayed on top of it with him, but I don't. But I have been, for your guys' sake, for research purposes, been using the beard oil on his face, and it is clearing it up like nobody's business. It is so good. So the beard butter would probably do the same. I love the beard oil on his face. I'm putting it in there, and it literally only took like a week.
Remember, we've got the Armor of God. This is the men's, we call it the men's fragrance. It's my favorite smell. You get the same smell, but a little bit different with this, but they're both power packed. I was glad that Michelle put enough scent in this one so you feel it.
It's not scent. Don't use the word scent. There are 10 essential oils. 10 essential of oils
but
in
there's
the beard oil. There's 20
in the Armor of God.
In the Armor of God.
And these were all picked for testosterone boosting and hormone balancing, especially for men, but even women need a testosterone balance. So yeah, check that out.
So I want to highly encourage you guys that if you're the best bang for your buck for sales is to get the collections.
Yeah.
Okay. Whether it's the beard duo or the men's duo or the whole collection, because I've got a men's whole collection and the regular Oil of Joy collection. You're already getting a discount. Then you get the 10% on top of that.
And with the
same thing with the eye pillows that are on sale.
With the Healing for the Soul collection, you're also getting an eye pillow.
So,
aren't you?
No, you're not.
You're not getting an eye pillow?
You're not getting an eye pillow with the Healing for the Soul collection. I haven't put one of those up there, but I keep meaning to. Okay. Sherry says, I can't believe it's been 5 years since that nonsense. She says, we had a huge Independence Day celebration in 2020 to protest them trying to ban large gatherings. That's awesome. Glenda Hobbs says, love using that on my feet and hands and elbows and face. That's awesome. Sherry says, the beard oil won't make me grow a beard, will it? No, it will not. It will balance out things.
Think about that. Like your
Glenda
elbows
says,
get
so
like
happy
weird.
to hear the oil is working on Uncle Jack. That's awesome. Barry says, I tried to tune into your Revelation Red Pill, but I do need sleep too. That's very important. So Leah's rubbing this on her elbow, and I'll
She
end
just
with
said
this.
elbow.
I'll end with this. So I have this, I don't know what it is, this problem. No, I'm not showing you anything right now. I have a problem that in the winter, I get itchy elbows. And then if I start to scratch it, it gets worse and it explodes and then it gets calloused and it's just, ugh. The Homestead Hands works for it like that. I just have to stay on top of it. So I would imagine that the beard and face oil would work the same. So
And the Taylor kids tell me that the deodorant works
they're
for...
calling it the chick stick. We can't even call it Perfume Day Jesus anymore.
Somebody
It
said
has to be the
it
chick
works
stick.
for bug bites now.
And then someone else confirmed
and
that.
acne, and somebody else confirmed it.
I was like, we're just going to repackage it for something new every time.
Well, here's the thing. It's in a deodorant container, but it is a salve.
Oh, it totally is a salve. Yeah. So somebody had asked me, are you ever going to make it in a container? Because I like to put it on and rub it in. I rub it in too. Like, I know this is probably TMI. Mine is in a 4-ounce container like this that I've had for years and it just lasts forever. And so I take just the tiniest little bit and then I rub it in. That's just how I do it. I know y'all may think that's gross and weird, but I don't.
I'm going to tell you, if you just go and you're going to
too much
white streak. Here's the thing. This is good because this thing is heavy. And this will last you forever.
It will last you forever.
Forever.
I can't guarantee
Not
forever,
like deodorant at the
but
store.
Yeah.
Almost forever.
So last but not least, I haven't talked about MyPillow in a while, and I was on the website today because Mike Lindell won his thing, and I'm so excited for him that he won his thing.
We are the champions.
Yes, exactly. But if you go to mypillow.com, you will see something that I'm gonna end the today's show with my ad that I did on the sheets. Because those specific sheets that are my absolute favorite are on sale right now. The twin sizes are, I think they're overpriced, by the way, to start with. However, I don't think they're overpriced at the sale price, which is $24.98. That's the thing. That's a huge deal. The per-cal sheets are my favorite. So this colorful one in the back is the one that I have. So I was getting really hot the other day. Sleeping, and it's been really, really hot. Let me screen share. It's getting really, really hot here in Ohio.
The flower ones in the back.
And I couldn't figure out why it was so hot. I had my pillow flannel sheets on my bed.
I have the
and so when as soon as I put the per-cal sheets on, cool as a cucumber. Cool as a cucumber. So they're on sale right now, $24.98. You can use promo code RC at the checkout. The other thing that we are using, and I know we talk about it a lot ad nauseum, are the hand towels, the dish towels. Okay, so
they're my favorite.
They are my favorite
in the entire world. I just every time I use them, I'm like, finally a dish towel. I have all these other little dish towels that are like this thin. I've researched them. I'm telling you guys, I wouldn't send you guys anywhere where it wasn't like legit the best. I'm talking about the best. So that they're $19.99.
They're $19.99.
This one.
This is the 6-pack dishcloth set, but I also like this one that's not as much on sale. I really do like this one. It's not as much on sale right now, but I love this one.
Those are my favorites.
And then they have the other ones that are on sale for the 8-pack waffle dish. We don't have those ones, but they look really great. So anyway, I haven't talked about MyPillow in a while, and I thought, you know what? Like, these are products that are part of my everyday.
Well, and then I brought these down.
Literally my everyday.
Because I did the antioxidant face mask with Vicky Natali and the face scrub today. I just wanted to take myself to the spa. It felt great. I love it. Vicky is our friend. She's like legit a friend. Yeah. And so we're not trying to just hawk anything. I'm telling you guys, the antioxidant face mask, it smells amazing. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys something. Actually, this one needs to be tossed. I'm going to tell you guys something. So I'm going to show you this.
So that's not the one that you used today.
No, I didn't.
Must use a different one.
No, this is a different one. This one has some mold in it.
Why, Leah? Tell her why.
This one must be a lot older.
No, that's not why. Yes, it is super old.
Yeah. Vicky's products do not have preservatives in it. You are supposed to use them within a couple months. This one's obviously been there for like a year or something. Okay.
There's another one that's upstairs.
Some of her products do have molded on me if I haven't used them right away. Yeah. Some of them don't, but some of them do. And this silky face scrub, which is like honestly the best thing that you can smell in like the whole world besides our stuff. Okay.
No, it's legit.
I love it, and it makes my face feel so good. And so I don't need to make what she's already made, which is I don't know what this all is, and it's awesome, and I love it. But I use the face mask sometimes I'll use it and it doesn't have enough liquid.
Your skin does look really nice.
And
it just gets a little dry, and you just add some water.
Yeah, and so no water, witch hazel.
Witch hazel.
Witch hazel, because I add water in it, and then that's what does it molds.
Okay.
If you add the witch hazel, it will not.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
that's what that.
So pro tip on organic body essentials, and I'll screen share. She does a sale almost for every single holiday. And
so wait
a couple days and just use promo code RC at the checkout, because what she promised me is that promo code RC will work for whatever the best deal is that she has going, which is awesome. So this is
except for the packages.
Well, except for the packages, because they're already on sale, which I totally understand that. One of my favorite things that I have used from her is the face makeup remover. I love that. It's really, really high quality.
It really does melt off your
But you all know we talk about it almost every week, is the Flawless Face Serum, because I love it.
And I know it's expensive, but it lasts forever.
But not when you use the discount code and it lasts. I don't know when the last time we bought it.
Sometimes she does 20% off.
I know.
But I will also say this. Not only does it last forever, but your lotions and your face stuff that you get at the store have all these fillers in it.
Yeah.
This is
it's
super uber concentrated. So literally, I'll tell you what I do. I don't know if there's any in here.
Probably not.
Like I just put on a couple
couple drops on,
and then I go like this around here, and then I kind of put it around my face, and it just like legit 2 or 3 drops. So this will last like 3 months, last forever. And I want to support our friends. I want to support Mike Lindell and Vicky. So that's all we've got going right now is us, Vicky, and Mike. So.
Well, no, the Brighteon store. We're still doing. I know you guys are constantly buying. You can use promo code Chicks at the Brighteon store.
Yeah.
What I do love about Mike Adams is that he makes sure that every single product that he's selling goes through his lab first, and he tests it, and he consistently tests it for things that you wouldn't even know to test for.
I know he's gone weird off the deep end. I haven't watched him either, guys. I'm going to tell you, but I still love his products. His products are so great.
I know. It's so good.
And if you guys wanted to support us straight up, we appreciate it so much. You have no idea. I think to myself, you guys know that we just we try to be honest as much as we can. So if we're bringing you guys products or whatever, we're not trying to gouge you. We're trying to be fair. We're trying to make a product so that you can, well, number one, so you can enjoy them. Okay.
And you get a little piece of us in your home, which I think is awesome. And I get a little piece of you when I see your name come up on the order.
It is another thing to kind of help supplement what we're doing here, because I understand
tent makers.
Yeah, I understand the world's a crazy place right now. So we appreciate you guys so much supporting us, helping us to get these videos out. We do, and since we've, I don't know, for the past 4 years, we have pet sat less. So we can do more videos, because normally, in the summer I'm doing, 16 visits and I'm out like, which is like legit 16 hours in a day. Don't ask me how it happens. It just does. Yeah. And sometimes that's what I used to do. And I've been able to scale back that just a little bit, because you guys are supporting us, and we're still kind of like this we do, but that's okay. The whole point is, what does God want us to do? And if people can support us, that's great. If you can't, that's fine.
So speaking of not being able to support us,
right?
I told you guys how I wanted to launch a scholarship program. So once a month, people that literally you've never bought products from us, and the reason why you haven't is because you literally can't afford it.
Nothing else. You literally are like
I can't rub 2 cents together, Leah and Michelle. I want you guys to, and I'm going to try to remember to do this, and you guys can help me in the chat. Send me an email, and for the entire month, I will gather those emails. Just put scholarship. What should I have them put in the title?
Scholarship.
Just scholarship.
Yeah.
And then put your name and your address. I won't use it for any other reason than to ship you your package that you will have won, the Oil of Joy collection. And if you're a dude, let me know, and I'll have and I'll send you the men's collection. So the men's versus the Oil of Joy collection. And so at the end of every single month, we will draw one winner from the scholarship program, and then we'll scrap all those names and start over again the next month. Obviously, if you've won once, then you can't enter again. But I want to be able to get our stuff to you guys. And obviously we can't send it to everybody, but this is, I think, a fun way to be able to do that. So we'll still do our regular giveaways that we do at Christmas and Thanksgiving and things like that. But I wanted to add this so that at very minimum, 12 times a year, somebody that can't afford one of our packages will get one for free from the scholarship program.
Okay,
so
awesome.
I think that's really exciting. So try to remember, you guys, send me an email for the scholarship program. Only enter once a month, your name will go in. So enter your name into the scholarship program. If you've never purchased a product from us.
We'll roll your names over.
I can't do that.
No, you can't?
Because I guess I have to curate them, and that's just totally fine. Meaning I don't want more than one name. I don't want more than one of the same name in every entry. I don't want to make it unfair, right? So I totally could roll it over. I can do that. We'll roll it over, okay? Which means if you've entered once and you've never won, you only need to enter one time. That makes it a little bit easier, doesn't it? Okay, so we'll do it that way. All right, we're going to sign off, but before we do, I'm going to end with two things. I'm going to probably make Barry's video big so that Lee and I can take care of some dogs. So we'll play Barry's video, and then I will end with our little MyPillow ad on the chickmunks that I did on the sheet. So
we'll see you for sure on Wednesday, maybe on Tuesday. We're not sure, but we're going to be doing
100th episode of Revelation Red Pill with Corey Gray in the house. I know you guys are going to love that. So I'm really excited. It's going to be a really fun show. And then, of course, we will see you on Friday for our headline news show. So maybe Tuesday night, but for sure on Wednesday, we will see you guys. And then we will be doing a 4th of July show. We will be doing a 4th of July show that will probably be half news and then half really fun, celebratory, Christian, godly American history stuff.
Awesome.
So, all right. We love you guys. God loves you. God bless. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's actually the truth. Sherry says, I love the organic body essentials. She says, bye, everyone. We're going to do a family dinner. First, you went to the pool, then you're going to the family dinner. Sherry's having a great day. Let me check out a couple of comments over here. Can't wait to sew into this. Oh, that's awesome. Says, oh, I've got to try that for the bug bites. I'd also like to rub it in. Highly recommend the deodorant. I've got to order more soon, says Unashamed Jesus Lover. Thank you very much. Sharon says, Outlander is a series on Starz channel. It's about the Scottish. Not new. The series is over. A new series, a prequel to the Outlanders, is just starting. No homosexuals in the original series. That is... okay, that's very interesting. Let's see. Love you the way you are, says Ballistic Mystic. That's awesome. Thank you very much for that. I think that's it for comments. Let me check over here on Facebook. Says, I'm wearing one now, not the dish towel, LOL. That's awesome. You mean the MyPillow towel. That's so great. Todd says, got to get ready for work. Thanks for another great newscast, ladies. Jim says, thanks for another excellent show, ladies. Y'all are the best. Thanks, James. You're amazing. Says, nothing like a good shower. That's what he says. I'm wearing one now. You are hilarious. Todd's a great guy. Okay, so we will see you guys on Wednesday for sure. Glenda says, thank you for all your hard work. So, all right, let me see how I want to cue this up so that I can make it big. Barry, which is the video that you wanted to play. There's Organic Body Essentials. It says, warning, this song causes goosebumps. All right, I'm going to make this big in 1 second. Let's see if I want to do that. We'll let it play until then.
You stole our voice, but not our breath. We've stared you down, we've tasted death. You sold our land, betrayed our name, called us thugs, then hid your shame.
You pause and our children rewrite our past. You flood our streets, erase us fast. But every line and every scar just fuels the fire you've pushed too far.
We won't back down, we won't give in. This is our home and we fight to win. You lie, you cheat, you rule through fear, but the clock is ticking, our time is near.
We won't back down, we won't retreat. We stand as one and we won't be beat. So mark our words, make no mistake. You've poked the beast, now it's wide awake.
You bend our words, then twist the law. crush our rights with your iron claw. Your lapdog press just sneers and spins, but truth survives and freedom wins.
You call us hateful, mere racist thugs, but we're the fire you failed to snuff. We are the children of those who bled, and we won't kneel, not now, not dead. We won't back down, we won't give in. This is our land, you will not win. We're done with begging, done with shame, done with playing your twisted game. We won't back down or compromise. We've seen enough, now we must rise. You've ruled through fear for far too long. We are the people and we are strong.
We are the workers, the proud, the free, not pawns, not pets, not your property. You tried to bury our voice in the dust, but now we rise, 'cause rise we must.
We won't back down, we won't give in, no matter the cost, we must win. You came for the weak, you came for the old, you preyed on the young with hearts so cold. We won't back down, we rise to the call. We watch as your empires crumble and fall. No second chance, no more delay. You pushed too far, now it's time to pay. Like knights of old, with sword in hand, we rise again to guard this land. You mocked our cross, you spat our creed, but heaven sees and you will bleed. The code still lives in blood and bone. We fight with faith, for we are not alone. Vengeance is his, but we're the hand that brings the judgment on this land.
So I definitely love the song, Barry. That was really, really good. It was obviously AI on the video, which, you know, I hate anything AI, but it was really powerful. So I'm glad that you shared it. And I love the song. It's definitely one of those ones you could listen to over and over and over again. So I think that's how all of us feel. So I'm glad that you shared that. That was really good. And I hope we didn't get like a copyright strike on it. But all right, last but not least, and I don't have, I can't make this big because I don't have my messenger up. So I'm going to see if I can do this. So for those of you that want to tune in on Wednesday, and all of you do, Corey Gray actually sent this today. He said this is Church on the Farm, that he's out in Nicaragua there. Let's see if I can make it big. I love that so much. So Corey sent that, which is super fun. And I love that that's how they roll down there in Nicaragua. And that's how Corey Gray rolls. He actually did a video showing how to cut coconuts and drink the juice from them. And I'm like, well, okay, but what if we don't have coconuts here, Corey? All right. So we will see you guys on Wednesday. 100th episode of Revelation Red Pill. Super exciting. Corey Gray is going to join us, being not in the house, but in the house, digitally speaking. And don't forget to visit mypillow.com. Use promo code RC. Organic Body Essentials. Use promo code RC. And of course, our shop.resistancechicks.com sale is going on now through July 10th, which will save you 10%. We love you guys. We'll see you next time.
I want to show you guys just why I love MyPillow's sheets. I just took off my winter flannel sheets off of my bed that has the MyPillow mattress topper, which I love. I think this is the 3-inch. It is so amazing. It's phenomenal. And of course, I've got my pillow. Hello. But I want to show you guys why I absolutely love these cotton sheets. I bought these last year and I've been hanging on to them, but I've been using my flannel sheets all winter. And now I'm getting ready to get these out. I don't even know that they have this print anymore. And I know most of you guys are like, oh, I would wash those sheets before I put them on. I'm putting them on. Putting the daggone sheets on my bed. Can't make me wash them first. They're so crisp and it's fun.
I am so excited about this. I love these sheets. When I was growing up, all of my friends, grandparents, and my friends had like the nice, look at this, the nice kind of thick sheets that are just, they feel quality. And every single time I use a MyPillow sheet, I get that top quality feel that is just, it feels rich, it feels luxurious, it feels awesome. Look at this. It's a beautiful print. Like I said, I don't even know that they have this in stock anymore, but they have some that are like it. And of course, I'm incredibly girly. You couldn't tell with the butterflies and things doing. But I wanted to show you guys just how amazing, like the stitching on these It is top quality. Like, these are legit super uber nice. So I wanted to bring you guys along while I made up my bed to show you guys how amazing I love all the My Pillow stuff. It's not just, we're not just saying, oh, we love it because we love Mike. And yes, Mike, we love you. But we love all of the products because they're like legit. This mattress topper has transformed my life. I have a regular foam mattress underneath of here, and it's probably like 13 years old. And about 3 years ago, I started to kind of swoop like this. So I got the My Pillow mattress topper, which is like raised. It's kind of like bumpy, I don't know if you can see that, but it has like little My Pillow prints on it. It's super fun. But it is so nice, and you can take it off and wash it. So it just straps easily. Now, one thing I did want to show you when I just tore this whole thing apart is that I got the Twin XL. The Twin XL for the mattress that I have added with this mattress topper. So I want to show you guys how fun this looks. I'll probably just speed this up and you guys can see it when it's done. So let's go. Pause. Hang on. Before I go anywhere, one of the things that I love to do every time I do these films is to show you guys how to fold a fitted sheet. So you're getting a bonus on this, all right? You ready? So here's how you fold a fitted sheet, even though I'm getting ready to put it on the bed.
Put your hands in each corner, right like that. Right, like this, okay? Spread your arms out wide, bring them together, put your hand in this corner, take this elasticy thing, kind of pull it out. Then you're gonna do the same thing, you're gonna inside this corner here, and you're gonna put it in here. Now you've got this kind of square, you see that? Isn't that nice? Then you're gonna put them together and inside it out. Not inside it out, but you're gonna put your hands in all four corners, okay? So then you're gonna grab these little dangly pieces, and you're gonna just gently, you see what I'm doing here? You're gonna lay this flat. Now I have a really nice rectangle, okay? Then you're going to fold once, then you're going to fold twice, then you're gonna fold again, and then you're gonna fold again.
Bada boom, bada bing, now you have just learned how to fold a fitted sheet. So, okay, now let's unfold it and put it back on the bed. Now you can see, we get out of the way, that there is plenty of room because I got the XL. Wait, straighten up these corners a little bit. I got the XL because I wanted to make sure that it would fit with my extra mattress. And this will shrink just a tad when I wash it, just a little bit, which I'll probably washing it in the next couple of days. But I absolutely love the top quality of this sheet set. It is so nice. So now, without further ado, let's put the top one on. And I love these so much. Just even working with them, it's just, you can feel how thick they are. They're just so nice. All right, so now we've got our top sheet on and we've got our fitted sheet on, and we're gonna do our pillowcase here in a second. But I just wanted to take a minute because I don't think I pointed this out. What kind did I get? So these are the Percal, right here, the Percal sheets that are 100% cotton and 270 thread count. So that's what these ones are. Leah loves the Giza Dream sheets and I love the flannel sheets, but we're going into spring and I'm super excited about that. So I'm jumping the gun on getting my super fun cotton Percal sheets out. So
last but not least, and this is the most important part, is we're gonna put on the pillowcase on my pillow, and oh my gosh, it's the greatest pillow on planet Earth. Like, guys, look at it. Okay, so when you sleep, look how thick this is. Okay, I'm not trying to say that I'm a thin person, but like, I can hide behind it. Like, it's awesome. It's got this patented, I think it's got a name, fill on the inside that's like super lumpy, and when you sleep on it, it takes your whole head and it hugs your head. It's a hug for your head. That's what it is. They need to market it. Mike, you need to market it as a hug for your head. It's a hug for your head. And you can get them and you can use them so that you can have a hug. If you don't have somebody to hug, and you can use them and you can hug them. But you can wash these and you can throw them in the dryer. But instantly, so you go to sleep and you wake up and it's just a little flattened, and then you just flip it. But sometimes in the middle of the night, I'll wake up and I'll just flip it. Like where my head is a little flattened. I just flip it and boom, I got all that fluff all over again. It's like the greatest pillow. There's a reason why he is sold. I don't even know. There's probably millions of these sold. But there's a reason for it because it's the best pillow. So now we're gonna put. I don't know how you guys do pillows, but I do it in a very unattractive manner here. I think everybody does that. All right, so
you'll notice that this pillowcase is a really good size pillowcase. You could get a much larger pillow from My Pillow, and it would still fit in the pillowcase, which I love about Mike's pillowcases. So there we are.
Bada bing, bada boom, a new sheet set from My Pillow that I love. It's super top quality. I can't tell you how much I love. It's so nice, it's so soft, it's so thick. It makes me feel like when I was a kid and I didn't get to get the nice sheets, and now I've got them, and I'm never going back. So you need to go to mypillow.com. You can use our promo code if you'd like. RC, that stands for Resistance Chicks, or Real Cool. Stay out of public school and be real cool and use promo code RC at the checkout to get your My Pillow sheets today, and your My Pillow mattress topper, which is amazing, and your My Pillow pillow. You're gonna love it. All right, guys,